Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Before you could get that big New York gig, and I don't know that the industry is even like that anymore. They just plug and play based on what your ethnicity is or what your political affiliation is, and they're not looking for a guy that's cut his teeth on 5 or 6 small markets and deserves to be now in New York. They just plug and play what they think that is politically correct at the end of the day.
Well, it's even more than that. So when you and I were coming up, and both of us have a similar history in the sense we were run out of those towns.
Wow. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
Takes a little bit to get all turned on and live on our various, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I don't know how many formats. A lot. We're sluts.
Yes, we are.
We're whores. Let me see. I'm refreshing Twitch. Try to get me live on there. Watch me some. Oh, yeah, there we are. We got a little orange tint to the Twitch deal. Do you see that? Like a little orange up like we're...
Yeah, YouTube too.
Like we're doing appreciation to Breast Awareness Month. Kind of looks like we've got a pink hue about us, which might work. Hell, I don't know. Let me see. So I got screw it. I'm just gonna stick on Rumble. I know we're on Rumble.
And you look better on Rumble.
I'll go. Thank you, Danny.
You do.
I'll go over to the other places and get us all signed up on that in our first stop, so that I can make sure that we're on. Facebook and we're supposed to be on Rumble, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then we might add a few after we get Operation Yippee-Yo done.
Correct.
And we got a meeting today about Operation Yippee-Yo.
Yes, we do.
At 11:30.
Yes.
So that means the Operation podcast exclusive Willie with a local kicker needs to probably be only about 45 minutes long. You know what I'm saying? Like 10:20 to 11:10.
Yeah, so we can get prepared.
So we can get prepared for our big meeting. Oh, so much to talk about. Alex comes into town like a whirlwind that he is. Oh, with his best friend Cocaine Hank, who thinks he's he thinks he's Don King.
Yeah, was that his name? Cocaine Hank?
No, his real name's Hank, but I call him Cocaine Hank because he's so jitted out. Like he's just so. Oh, you don't even understand. After the fight, they all ended up back at my apartment.
Oh, nice.
Oh no!
What? So it was me, Merch Crick, Rob Kahn, Cocaine Hank, and Alex Stein back at my apartment, and Alex is mowing down Camel Crushes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and Hank's mowing down cocaine and weed. And I'm like, man, what is happening? What's going on out here? Jesus. So, yeah.
How did he look after the fight?
No, perfect. And the guy didn't get nothing in on him. And Dan, guess what? I mean, we got to get into. I got six post-it notes. I have 6 post-it notes that I've put together on notes that I'd like to speak about with regards to Saturday's Alex Stein fight.
Which is a lot because you're only there for like 35 minutes.
Well, and I got kicked out. People don't realize I got kicked out. Yeah.
After?
Well,
kicked out or just off the ring?
No.
Well, I think kind of both.
Because that's how you get asked to get off of the ring.
Yeah.
I heard from the security guy that I was standing next to that said that you were going to be escorted out of the building.
Okay. Well, I got off the ring as told and then just moseyed myself towards the green room. So I guess, maybe I did what they wanted me to do. So they didn't have to like forcefully take me kicking and screaming,
Right.
Yeah.
I saw you exit.
Yeah. Well, listen, I was there just because there was a bad guy in the wood pile and they were fixing to screw. Dan, like if you're on the apron of the ring and you're listening to the announcer, the referee, and the sanctioning body guy talk about who won, and you're overhearing that conversation, you get a pretty good indication as to what's going on. Well,
definitely.
I'm hearing as Alex. So, the referee who hated Alex, Jason Ellis, I think hates Alex, and then there was this. I think maybe a commissioner from Florida. I think who was there, and so the fight gets done, and the referee goes, what was it? Harrington? Referee's going Harrington, and Alex goes, yeah, I'm thinking Harrington. And then the referee, the sanctioning body dude, who's literally standing right beside me, like, Anna, I could actually have just been the fourth person participating in this conversation. That's how close I was to this conversation.
Right.
Like, I wasn't from me to you. I was like from you to Dan.
Yeah. And you were like a foot and a half from Jason Ellis, which was funny.
Right. Like,
both hate each other.
Yeah. Well, because he's a little bitch.
I know.
So anyway, you didn't see me back down, did you? I mean, you didn't see me. Like
I did see you bring Rob Kahn up, though.
So that's just being smart.
No, I know, but it was just funny because the closer you got to him, you're like, "Hey, Rob, get up here."
Yeah, I mean, like, who wouldn't?
No
Who,
kidding.
what the baddest
Well,
guy?
that's why you brought the guy.
You know, Dan, now I know how impossible you are, just as usually the richest or most affluent or popular guy in a room full of people. But can you imagine also if you knew deep down you were also the baddest dude in the round? Like, there is nobody that could beat your ass because you're a 7th degree Gracie black belt. Like, you would be impossible to live with.
Intolerable.
Yeah, like, you know, that's
More than he is now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, not only is he the richest, most arrogant prick when he walks into the room, just, you know, based on how he's wired and his accomplishments, but if he was physically, can you imagine having that in your head, knowing that almost everywhere you go, you're the baddest dude, like nobody can kick your ass.
Right, like even like a stadium full of 50,000 people.
Yeah,
probably no one in there is going to be able to kick your
if
ass.
he walks into the Buck Stadium this next weekend, if they could maybe, I don't know if they'll even put 50,000 in, but anyway, let's say that they get lucky and they put 50,000. You can walk around the concourse knowing that there's probably only a handful of dudes that I'd even have to worry about in this entire facility.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, it must be an amazing feeling.
Oh, I mean, I can't think of a cooler feeling. But I can't think of a more humble dude who doesn't care about that feeling than Rob.
So unassuming.
Rob's like, man, listen,
nice.
Listen, Bubba, please don't get me in a fight tonight.
You said that?
Yeah. He goes, please don't get me in a fight. He goes, I got my fighting shorts on. I'm ready to go.
He's like, I just wanna have fun.
Do you know that he always, if he was going to a wedding or if he was going to like a child bar mitzvah, just anything, do you know, Dan, that as underwear, he always wears his board fighting shorts?
Really?
No
Like,
way.
that's his underwear. Yes, so that he's always ready to rip off his pants, and he's got fighting shorts
I'm
on
surprised he doesn't have the snap pants.
at all times. Boom. He may have a pair of jeans on, but underneath them are fighting pants. Yeah.
You can tell he's been training too.
He
good.
looks great,
Yeah.
man.
Looks really good.
He looks great. I might start training with him.
Nice.
I bought him a ribeye on Saturday night. He loved it. So,
Aw.
we had dinner and everything.
Oh, that's
Before?
nice.
No, but after.
Oh.
So afterwards, we're driving home. I'm like, who's hungry? It was me, Lummy, the Crick, and Rob Kahn. And Lummy's like, I go, Lummy, listen, I got, the fans all send me these Longhorn gift cards. So thank God, like to Ed and Leslie and, all the great.
It's Chuck.
I know. It's Leslie and Chuck.
They're so
but
sweet.
They were there on Saturday, and she's gorgeous. And I know it's Leslie and Chuck, but I like to call them Ed and Leslie.
Yeah.
They know that.
That sauce they sent me was delicious on the hot dogs.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, they were there Saturday.
Yeah, we all got wasted together.
Oh, now, so I think you guys kind of went and did your own thing. Well, our after party consisted of being, at my apartment. So we're driving to my apartment. I'm like, Lummy, the Merch Cricks, I got a bunch of Longhorn steak coupons or gift cards because the fans all know that I'm straight white trash, and I really appreciate that. I really like that. That's fancy for me. Like Dan wouldn't be caught dead in a Longhorn.
But ironically, I should have done that Saturday night because I went to Ocean Prime and had a disaster in
Right.
Orlando.
You would have had.
I had the crappiest meal I've had in years.
But do you know how much more fun you would have had? Hold on. If your evening consisted of meeting me here at 5:15, we driving my truck over. We had some party. We had some party favorites, if you know what I'm saying, on the way over. And then here when we met to the studios, and then we went over there and we watched Alex fight. literally, I mean, we were only there an hour. It's like it's not like Dan, we had to wait
from
very long.
start to finish.
And he started like a 6:45, not quite 7, right?
No, it was at 6.
Yeah, like he started way early. So
Yeah.
which was great, which means we got out of there way early.
Right.
Like, a lot of times if you, and I know that you, because you've been part of boxing and your family used to promote boxing, but, a lot of times, a guy will get there at, 5 o'clock and he may not fight till 9.
Oh, yeah.
Hours.
Hours of just sitting around stressing out.
Right. And
Not
so
fun.
I was afraid. So we got there all at, what'd you say, Anna? We probably all got there at 5:35.
I walked into the green room, and 6 minutes later, he was getting walked to the ring.
Right. And we were just there probably 5 minutes before you.
Yeah, and
So,
I thought we
hadn't
were
been-
hella early, but
No.
we weren't.
So next thing you know, Dan, we get into the green room. I don't even really get I can't even really scope out the treats that good. Like they got some nut bars and some peanuts and some stuff. I
Bananas.
was wanting to grab because I knew Jason Ellis was paying for it. So I was wanting to grab, me a couple of handfuls of here and
Keep it
there.
in the bag.
Yeah. Well, next thing you know, we're like, Alex. So I'm trying to teach Alex some stuff because let me tell you something. He was so horribly trained.
Yeah.
So absolutely horribly trained. And Alex will tell you when he calls in Lummy on Wednesday or whatever, he will tell you that Rob Kahn and I, in that little bit of time that we spent with him,
All 7 minutes.
got him to win the fight. And he listened to us. His corner guys were just like, I don't even know. Like they weren't like,
Were they even really talking to him?
I don't know.
I saw your pre-roll or pre-fight footage, and I saw you giving the directions of keeping him away from you, what to do if it gets a little crazy, tie him
Right.
up, use your jab, keep your distance. He had a little arm length on him, and I watched the fight the next morning on the video, and I was impressed. I thought he did a great job.
And the only time he got caught,
beginning of the second round.
is when he would drop his guard.
But
So
the beginning of
you-
the second round, he got caught like 3 times. I was
Right.
like, oh my God, but he took the punches.
all because he left his guard down.
Yep.
And so Rob and I were trying to tell him, listen, use that jab, not as a power punch, but as an irritant. If you're just keeping the constant jab up with your right fist up by your chin, and you're just at that left, which he had an unbelievable reach advantage on the guy, and it's just an irritator to keep him off of you. Eventually, he's going to drop his left, and you're going to be able to smash his face in with your right.
Mm-hmm.
And so so listen to this, Dan.
And every fight, if you look at every fight, almost like 95% of fights, the guy that jabs the most wins.
So you being a guy that has spent a lot of time in a corner.
Yes.
Talking about one of
150 fights.
One of the 3 dudes that are allowed on the apron. They allow 3 guys on the apron, usually the coach, the cut guy, and another dude. That's it. Well, Dan was always the cut guy. So first round comes up, and he comes to the corner, and Dan, they don't have an ice pack for the back of his neck.
Water.
They barely have water. They got bottles of water, warm.
Vaseline.
They do not revas him at all.
That's a mistake.
And then hold on, they don't even have any cold compresses. That how you sometimes even if a guy has only taken a couple maybe to the face, you still put that on there.
Yeah, because it gets puffy.
Right. So, and you put a ton of pressure. So as the cut guys so if you would have been there, I would have had you revazzing. I would have had Rob on the instruction, and I would have been on the cold compress. Boom. And they had none of that.
So what, did you put any cold on him?
We just gave him a bottle of water and have him drink it. That's it.
So good luck.
And they wouldn't even and so Rob is the one that had to put the stool out for him. Like a guy needs to sit for that minute to kind of get some of the lactic acid out of his legs from jumping around and being standing and using your legs as power behind your. You need that minute of kind of sitting down to kind of rejuve your legs a little bit, right? Because your legs, even standing, your legs are exerting some type of energy to make you stand, right?
Yes.
If you're sitting, well, that 1 minute is one less minute that your legs have to keep your 50 pounds at.
Is so exhausting that you need to rest every second you can.
And you also the other thing that people aren't thinking about is when you're sitting down, you're resting your hands, which have these heavy gloves on your lap, which is also relaxing your shoulder, your neck. It's relaxing everything.
So Alex sits down in the first round, and me and Rob go to town. I'm like, listen, you've got to keep your fucking hands up. You've got to jab. You've got to jab. You've got to just jab, jab, jab. The guy you've already. And I said, and Rob and I, I said, you won this round. Yeah, it's 10-9. There's no way they can take this round away from you. There's no way. So I said, so go out and let's go out and win the second, just like you did here, and we ain't got to worry about the third. So he goes out in the second, but he does a couple of these rookie-ass backhand deals. He does a couple of these backhand. And now I know the first one was a warning, and I think I don't know, but he may have had a point taken away.
When they take a point away, they stop the fight and they do a point, and they make a very specific and very visible saying like point, pointing to the three corners.
Ellis gave him 2 warnings pretty much.
Mm-hmm. All right, so he got only 2 warnings.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a favor because the second one he could have got a point on. So he goes out. The guy catches him a few times in the second, but nothing earth-shattering or anything like that. Alex, by me and Rob's card, still won it. So we get, but I'm like, listen, that's our card. Their card, he's got 80-20 people here that hate him.
Right.
So
based on what you're saying, Bubba, with a hostile crowd or hostile judges, you would say he definitely won the first round, but that second round they could have absolutely given to the other guy.
Absolutely.
Because at the beginning of it, I mean, I think he justified winning the round towards the last half of the second round, but the first round with those, he got caught square 2 or 3 times. I mean, they're absolutely scores. Even though it didn't phase him, they were directly to the face.
We felt as if he scored more jabs, but we felt that though Harrington caught him a couple times.
Yep.
So Rob and I are like, listen, it should be 2-0, but it's probably more like 1-1.
Yep.
So we tell Alex, listen, it's 1-1. It's 1-1, and you've got to go out. And it starts with keeping your guard out. He's like, I'm tired. I'm like, so is he. He's more tired than you are. Keep your guard out and just punch, just jab. All I got to do. And then I think convincingly, Stein won the third.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think convincingly he won the third. So then I'm over there and I hear him trying to swing it. Here, I'll just go ahead and tell you. So I'm trying to hear. I'm hearing the referee comes up. Jason Ellis is on the apron. The boxing commissioner dude's on the apron, and I'm on the apron, and we're all together. Like there's not even I'm not even 6 inches away from the boxing commissioner. Like I'm in the deal. And the referee goes, Harrington, I got it, Harrington. And Jason Ellis goes, I don't know. I mean, to Jason's credit, I'll just tell you. Jason was like, I don't know, man. I mean, I got it maybe a draw. Oh. And then I go, how do you draw a 3-rounder? That's what I said. And hold on. I'm not invited into this conversation. I'm clearly with one of the boxers. I clearly shouldn't be having a participation into this conversation. They need to tell me to shut up because I shouldn't be able to influence it at all. And so Ellis goes, I got it maybe a draw. And then the boxing commissioner goes, no, it's Stein. It's Stein. So then, first I yell to the camera, we're getting effed. We're gonna get effed. Because when I hear the referee come out and say Harrington, and I say,
come on,
and I say and then Jason Ellis says a draw. I'm like, man, the fix is in. We're gonna get screwed here. I'm telling you. So then the commissioner turns to me and goes, no, you won't. He won. Your guy won. So then I turn around to the guys and go, we won. So then Jason Ellis goes out and says, according to there's one real, and he was talking about the boxing commissioner, dude. He's like, there's one real judge here scoring this fight, and it goes to Jason Ellis. So I was like, okay, at that point, we're thinking we won, right?
Yep.
They raise Jason Ellis's hand. They give him the check.
You mean Stein?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm confused now. You start throwing Ellis in there.
All right, it's early. It's early. So Jason Ellis is the guy that makes the announcement, and he says, according to a real judge here, Jason Ellis says this. We're scoring this fight. The winner, Alex Stein. Yay! They give Alex Stein this medal.
I sent you a video from our Twitter.
Is it? Is it?
I don't know about the language, but
language because I was throwing a lot of F's.
Well,
I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Alex says S my D at one point, but other than that, I think it's clean.
And then you see where Ellis like gives the get this guy out of here because
it's the video of the decision.
All right, so he gives the decision. He gives the decision as he should have to Alex Stein. That was from the boxing commissioner. Well, then Harrington starts coming by when Alex is trying to get out of the ring and we're done. Like, I think we're done. Like, I think we're done at this point.
Right.
We're done.
Right.
Hand's been raised. Check's been presented. We're done. The dude, Harrington, comes around the corner and goes, one more, ring the bell. Ring the bell. One more round. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. And I go, that's when Dan, I literally made one of your unhinged moments look like Snow White.
Yeah, you see you getting up on the ring.
I go, are you kidding me? You got your fucking ass whipped, bitch. You got beat, bitch. You don't change we can't change the rules all of a sudden just because you want one more round. You got beat, bitch. And then we start. But see, Jason Ellis thinks that I'm talking to him, but I'm not.
Now that's Ellis there with the pink shorts and the tattoos on the back of his legs.
Yeah, this is him. And
so he's got a rainbow flag on his car.
He says you want. Hold on, let me see. I just
think
said
that was already said.
Yeah, let me get all this volume stuff down. Usually it's on Facebook. Yep, of course, there it is. So let me.
But the back of his legs.
Yeah, still another one. Where's that one coming from? He says you want. Hold on, let me see. I just said
YouTube, Rumble, Twitch.
I don't know. I had to get all this volume stuff down. Usually it's Christ Almighty. Of course, there it is. There we go. Thanks. So, but the fighter is in between me. So it's me, the ring, Jason Ellis, and the fighter, and then Alex Stein over kind of to the right. And I'm lighting this fighter up, telling him he's a bitch. You got your effing ass beat, bitch. Just sorry about your luck there, bitch. Well, Ellis thinks I'm talking to him, and I'm not talking to Ellis. Ellis, by all accounts, did the right thing. Mm-hmm. He threw it to the boxing commissioner, dude. And the boxing commissioner dude made the right decision. Like, I don't have any problems with Jason. But Jason thinks that I'm
mad at him.
And I'm not.
Why would you be mad at him?
I'm not, unless him as the sanctioning body had agreed to go another round. But he didn't.
With the decision, everyone should be happy.
No, he didn't. Jason didn't do anything wrong.
The one with the sour grapes is Harrington.
Everybody for your winner, Alex Stein.
Now you watch this fat asshole. Now, first of all, look at the referee is supposed to be a non-biased opinion, is he not?
Yeah, he's upset.
Watch the referee clearly put his head down. Watch. Look.
Yep.
Tell me the fix wasn't in. Of course,
the referee and Ellis look like they're like from the same group.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. So now this is where I may have to turn the volume. I may have to dump a lot.
Yeah.
Because this guy here now, Dan, I'm on the apron. Like, I'm on the apron. I'm probably 3 foot from Jason Ellis. I could almost touch Jason Ellis.
Yeah, they look over at you like.
Yeah.
And look at the ref. He looks like he's like, yeah, let's ring it.
Yeah,
let's go.
And so this guy I automatically see is starting to be a loudmouth.
Right.
Like, and I'm like. He says, ring the bell, meaning let's go another round. Well, we didn't agree. That's not what the parameters were. That'd be like if the Bucks yesterday were able to tell the referees, hey.
3 more minutes.
35 more seconds, see if we can get a field goal range. Come on now. Now, see, Ellis thinks I'm talking. Now, Jason now is looking right at me.
Yep.
That's who he's talking because I am flipped out. So if you look at Jason's looking at me, and I think he assumes that I'm being disrespectful to him, and I'm not. I'm just calling this dude an effing loser and a little bitch. That's what I keep saying. You're a little bitch. You got your ass whipped. Take it, buddy. You're a little bitch. F you, you lost. That's what I'm saying. Well, Ellis thinks that I'm saying it to him.
Yep.
May I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
What is Ellis's relationship with Harrington?
I don't know.
Are they friends?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
If anybody knows.
I don't even know who Harrington is.
Neither do I. Harrington
Like,
is
who
some.
is he?
Harrington is some producer for some podcast guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on here. By the way, if you look
That's
at
your finger?
this is my finger.
Yeah.
This is how Dan.
You're like, I'm talking to him, not you.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to the other dude, Jason. I got no problems with you. See, I can see, Dan, the crowd's going one more round. I can just feel
They just want more
an
action.
F job coming.
Yep.
Oh,
That's where he says, get him off.
Didn't you dump it?
I thought he said F off.
No,
Maybe
he
he said get him
he
off.
said get him off.
Get him off.
Okay.
We won. Hell yeah. Last one.
I've been kicked off at this point.
$2,000.
I've been kicked out of classier places than this.
Alex lost a lot of weight.
Oh, no. It looks like I'm still up
No,
there.
you are.
Yeah, Dan, they kicked me off, but I'm
See the
still
watch.
up there.
I see the watch.
See, you see how Ellis gave the. That's when the security guard said he thought he was supposed to escort you out.
Right there.
Oh,
Look,
I said, yeah,
if you
get
look
him
at
out.
him, he looks at me, points to me, and does the thing across the throat. Watch right
Yeah,
here. Watch.
get rid
Hold
of
on.
him.
Ready? Watch. Ready? Boom. Him. Gone. Right there. Right here. Hold on. Points. Him. Gone. Him. Gone. Well, they got me out of there.
Yeah,
But we won.
sure did.
And we
went to
didn't
Longhorn.
get screwed like they were trying to screw us. Phew. Then oh God, I got to go to words. But then the after party. Ani, did you have an after party with Chuck and Leslie?
And Big Red and not a fan.
Oh,
And
So you
Big
got-
Red and I, usually the more measured of the group, we got lit up
Where?
at Ferg's.
Okay.
really?
St. Petersburg. Yeah. And then it
And
was,
you can't go wrong with Furs because it's such a dive, but it's a cool
it wasn't
dive.
a dive.
No,
I was
no,
so
hold on, but
drunk,
it's
I
a
was
cool
like
dive.
in sports. I didn't even know who was playing, but I was having a great
No,
time.
it is a dive because they
But it's
put
a-
like 7
Is it?
buildings together. and-
Yeah.
You know what they've done? It's a shanty.
It's
It
hodgepodge
started out
together.
it started out so big, and then they just kept adding wood. It's the way it's the way our old goat shanty
Yep,
used to
that's
look
right.
like when
Exactly.
Well,
Lummy
I
would
really
just
liked
add.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drank so much. Big Red and I ended the night with I think we were arm wrestling while he was wearing my purse. It was weird, but it was fun.
All right. Well, you guys had your after party, which I'm sure we can talk about. Well, I had my after party with Cocaine Hank, Camel Alex. Yes, Alex is smoking Camel Crushes cigarettes.
Inside?
No, not inside. Doing vape hits. And then Cocaine Hank, who thinks he's Alex Stein's Don King. And I have to learn about all their LSU days, and that Cocaine Hank married this really, 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 really rich girl. Like her dad was like the richest guy in Dallas, but she divorced him right before he died, and he got nothing.
Was that the guy who kind of looked like Daniel Rose with the cowboy
Yes.
hat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And he
Daniel
was
Rose
like, and
Jr.
I think at the point you saw him, Anna, he was probably 4 or 5 key bumps in.
Yeah, he was sweating like an MF.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
He had
yeah.
a towel around him, and he wasn't. He was.
And he was
wasn't doing
constantly
anything.
taking off his cowboy hat, trying to readjust his
And wiping the sweat off his face.
his slick ass sweat hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, trying
Yeah,
to slip it
Cocaine
back.
Hank. Cocaine Hank.
makes sense now.
So on our way home, Lummy, because
Yeah.
Lummy is the only guy that didn't break bread with me. I'm like, hey, Merch Crick, you got our Longhorn gift cards? From like Greg and Amy and Airtight and all the great people that have sent them to me. Chuck and Leslie. She's like, yeah, of course I got them. I go, why don't you call into Longhorn and get us all some food? We'll all have like a little dinner. And Lummy is the only one who's like, I can't. I've already eaten. I don't want nothing.
Yeah,
I was wanting to have.
food.
I was wanting to eat a little dinner. Like that's when you really become friends with somebody. When you break bread with them. When you have dinner.
Well, did he have to get home?
Well, it's that, not even that. I mean, but I just wasn't hungry. I didn't want to waste food.
Oh, come on.
Could have got a salad and some French onion soup or something,
I
buddy.
wouldn't have
French
eaten
fries.
it. I mean, I was feeling good, and I just
Somebody as fat as you is never not hungry. Stop it with that nonsense,
Would
please.
it mess with his buzz, maybe?
Yeah, mate. You know what? There you go. You're right.
Sorry.
So Rob Kahn orders a big ass ribeye. I get me some baby back ribs.
You did?
Yeah.
You didn't get your chicken deal?
No, I got baby back ribs instead. And which I think Merch Crick's going to bring me some at 7 o'clock to break my fast.
Oh, because you got a potato and then a mashed potato.
No, I got French fries.
Oh, that's right.
French fries and baby back ribs. I only ate a certain portion of the baby back ribs, knowing I like to have them for my
leftovers.
my radio meal that I eat at 7 o'clock when I'm on my fasting. So I ate yesterday. Well, I used all day yesterday to get back on track. My last meal yesterday was at 12:15.
Jeez.
So, if I go to like 7 today, that's what?
19 hours.
That's
crazy.
And I went to the gym today.
Nice.
Good for you.
So me and Rob and Merch Crick, we have food. Lummy leaves.
Okay.
And then come like a wrecking ball about an hour later comes Cocaine Hank and Camel Alex. And they're on one.
Was Cocaine Hank at least respectable?
Yeah, Cocaine Hank's super respectful. He's just super high energy. He won't sit down for a second.
And he did cocaine.
And I'm trying
in
to
your
watch.
house?
And Lummy, no, he's not doing cocaine in my house.
Oh.
I said I do not want any cocaine in my house. But Lummy, I'm trying to watch the Colorado game.
Yeah.
And they're going. Alex won't sit down because he's on Camel Crushes, and Cocaine Hank won't sit down because he's on. What I was told, crushed up Adderall.
They're in there training for his next fight.
Yeah, and Cocaine Hank's like sweating, just literally sweating, and has his cowboy hat on with a scarf, thinking that he's Don King. And me and Rob Kahn are just trying to
Don Imus.
Yeah, exactly. And me and Rob Kahn and Merch Crick, we're just trying to enjoy our Longhorn because we got Longhorn takeout. And it's really the first time I've got to spend with Rob like in years.
Yeah, I know.
So we're like, and then after dinner, we sit down and go to YouTube and start watching some of this backyard fighting kind of deal.
Yeah, you've shown that.
Me and Rob Kahn are like, hey man, we should start our own, sanctioning body. Build a little ring out back, Lummy, and have people come beat the crap out of each other for content.
Yeah. There you go.
I just got to check and see if it's an amateur fight and there's no money exchanged. And Dan, I don't know that you have to get. You might know this more than or Jay. I don't think you have to necessarily get the Florida Sanctioning Boxing Commission involved. If it's just two dudes that are fighting and they sign the paperwork, we're just fighting.
Well, isn't that what Street Beefs does?
Yeah, we got to.
You probably have to have a paramedic or an ambulance there. Because if something happens and you don't, you're going down.
Well, I know a doctor, bitch.
Yeah. And the doctor says have an ambulance there.
Why bother with broadcasting excellence when you can have broadcasting decadence instead? The Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you had a bunch of medical interns or
Ambulance.
medical
Dan, there's got to be some way.
You have to have an ambulance
No, you're not listening to me, lover. There's got to be some way that Street Beefs does it, where they have them sign something where we are consensually fighting in a non-sanctioned fucking deal, and anything that happens to us physically is, that you can draw a contract up for anything.
You can absolutely do that, but the standard of care is you have to have an ambulance there. They have them at JV football games. They have them at everything.
If it's a sanctioned ordeal. If it's not a sanctioned ordeal and there's no sanctioning body and they're not keeping score, I think that's how Street Beefs get away with it.
But you can do that. There's absolutely, you can do that, but you still have to have an ambulance there.
All right. I think you're wrong.
I want people to live.
He's just Bob from Davenport, 34 months.
Good morning, Julio Joe.
Sorry, DNG 5316.
But an ambulance doesn't cost that much to keep there. You know what I'm saying, Bubba?
Just hold your thoughts there, lover. We're gonna come back with this.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. We'll start with Pedro and Pissan Show and Kicks for Guns, 2X and Holy Yoke, Nick the Gun Guy, Xerxes, Joe Lupian.
What was I drinking? Everything. Taking all sorts of shots.
Bob Cook, Big Buck,
Cinnamon Toast Crunch shots, green tea shots.
Yellow Dane.
I was back in college.
Camper Scott was Cape Hours.
Well, Joe, that's what is in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch shot.
With Holyoke Joe.
They're good.
He asked if you drink whiskey, and I said, well, that's
Mr.
what
T
Cinnamon
buying
Toast Crunch
175.
shot.
Down with it.
Yeah, and I think there's Jameson in a green tea shot. Lemon drops, yup.
What's up, Nick?
Orange Gatorade. It was a mess. I was so drunk.
Gummed up in Petersboro. Good morning. Ian's are in Florida.
But it was a lot of fun. So much fun.
Snoozlooks, Liz Air. Cylon 13. Jeff 2433. Good morning. Hello, hungry for life. What's up? Jimmy Flynn, good morning. Really, Snoozlook.
Jack's at 7, right?
Yes, let me check.
So I'm gonna do 6:50. I'm gonna be out at 6:50, so I only got like literally a few minutes to talk about this.
Travis, good morning.
Okay. Okay, Bubba. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Rupert Lips, good morning.
Okay,
What's up, Big
Bubba.
Brad?
Okay,
Big
Brad.
Great team. Seen you guys in a while.
Look what Chuck and Leslie got me.
An anything? Oh, dog.
It's a pipe
That's a
to
pipe?
smoke out of. Yeah, but it's a
Oh,
little wiener dog.
shoot.
That's fucking hilarious.
Where's the bull part?
I don't know.
Oh,
I think it's
upside
you hold it
down.
upside down.
Oh, okay.
What?
So you literally smoke out of the dog's ass, I guess.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh,
That's
that's
fucking
out.
cool.
What's up,
Chuck
Jim?
and Leslie got.
Chuck and Leslie got me this little
Yeah,
wiener
sir.
dog pipe.
Oh, cool.
Someone blew that out of glass. That's insane. That's
The
really
problem
cool.
is, Yinzer,
Thank you, Chuck and Leslie.
when I did the directions and we put the cheese on it and I put it in the oven and I put it in the oven and it didn't look like it was ready and 30 seconds later it was overdone. It's a very specific timing thing, but it was good. And all the onions mixed with the sauce, it was really good. Caviar tacos. What's up? Big Buck, I'm doing well. Just getting over a little food poisoning.
For real?
Yeah, Saturday night. Dog shit.
Yeah, what's going on?
I had food poisoning Saturday night.
What were you talking about?
Okay. Right. That's why I mentioned I wish I'd eaten the Longhorn. I wouldn't have gotten food poisoning.
Right.
Were you in Orlando?
Yup.
Did you get
For
a
what?
Huh? For a conference. And you know how you sometimes go out to dinner with groups of, a couple groups, small groups. And so we were going to go to ADV's and ended up at Ocean Prime, but I'll tell you the story.
Do they have Eddie V's and everything over Orlando?
They got fucking everything over in Orlando. There's a clone of everything in Orlando.
Really?
Yeah.
The Love Sponge.
Broadcasting from a bricked-in parking garage near the flight path of a major American airport. It's time to turn out the propaganda and manipulate some minds. Now return to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I'll have to be out by Lummy 52, the latest. Preferably 50, which is about 11 minutes.
Jack, you get our
We'll
Zoom
be
on.
live from Tel Aviv. Jack and Uma.
Close enough.
Is it L?
Yael.
Yael. Or
Yael.
Yael.
There you go.
In case you didn't miss the show on Friday, Dan got the strap.
Now remember why.
Yes, I remember why.
I know, but you said that's a requirement now.
Dan got the strap for having some unbelievable questions for Bill O'Reilly, to the point where Dan actually read a portion of Bill O'Reilly's book and was able to recite it back to him, and really made Bill O'Reilly super cool, because most of the radio shows that have him on promoting his book don't read the book. They just read the Cliff Notes. And so they all say the same thing. And then when Dan broke the book down, Bill was like, whoa. And then Chat calls for it. I'll see it.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it. And you saw it. And you being, Johnny Honest.
Yeah.
Even though you have the strap, you could have chose to ignore it and not let me know about it. But you're John. You always have your three fingers up, telling the truth,
Yes.
like an Eagle Scout, like a Bubba Eagle Scout that you are. And you're like, Bubba. I'm like, what? He goes, Chat's calling for potential belt change. I'm like, yep. So Dan's got the belt.
Well deserved.
He killed it.
Interestingly, as I continue to read the book, because I'm almost done with it now, that question about the
Who has time to
relationship-
read a book?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I was reading yesterday.
That's how
bored.
smart you are.
So the question about how religion and government interact is really the pervasive theme throughout the book. So it seemed probably to him that I read even more of it than I had.
Ooh,
Right.
Extra credit.
When we have him on again, he would. That he's not going to have a new book since this book, and we can refer back to this book when we have him on again here in a couple weeks. So Dan, I will have to face you. You're going to have to take an L on this next subject.
Okay.
You're just going to have to. There's just no way around it.
Okay.
Remember, I was telling you, if you had a thing like Rob Kahn presents and Bubba's Street Beefs or something like that, and Lummy, I got the perfect facility right here at the studios. That little patch back there in the corner.
Oh yeah.
We could clear that. We could clear all that metal and everything out there, and we could actually grow some real nice grass, and then have Austin Wolf from Wolf Fencing come in and build us a little chain, because you want it to be as barbaric and primitive looking. You don't want it to be like super, And then Big Red would put like 3/4 inch plywood around the top half of the octagon, and me and Rob Kahn could do this. And Dan's like, no, you can't. You need a nurse. You need a doctor. Dan even said you need an ambulance. All this kind of stuff. Well, Dan, let me read this. Street Beefs is an American backyard fighting club on a YouTube channel founded by a Virginian resident, Christopher Scarface Wilmore, in 2008, which, I think he's got about 3 or 4 million subscribers.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
That hosts fighting events of combat sports mediums such as boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts. Wilmore hosts the events at various locations around the East Coast, where their primary base of operations are located in Harrisburg, Virginia. They have fighters of various skills, but they are notable for providing an avenue for inexperienced fighters outside of a more formal amateur competition. Since there is no admission fee and no payment, it is not regulated by the state commission. Wilmore originally founded the organization to help set up disputes and provide alternatives to more dangerous forms of street violence. During the early days of its inception, they had no medical professionals present, but now they have a registered nurse. So that's all they have, is a registered nurse there, Dan, because they don't pay any prize money out. They don't charge to get in, and it's just, it's just an unsanctioned outlaw deal. So what say you, buddy?
It's state specific, and I'm looking up state law governing this, and so, every state is different and very different when it comes to boxing, and so it depends on the state.
Street fighting.
It's all any
Listen,
kind.
Your brother Steven, who concocted our model / appearance on the show Relief. release people that appear on the show, blah, blah, blah. Back when we used to, make them sign forms and things like that when we really needed to own their content. Your brother came up with one of the stiffest, most craziest releases ever. And if they signed it, then they were bound by it. So if you get, that if you get people to sign anything, I think it's a legal binding contract, is it not? If it's not signed under duress
if the contract is consistent with state and federal law. I mean, you can't sign a contract that's illegal. Like, you can't sign a contract that says I'm going to be your slave for the next 5 years.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Let me tear that contract up I gave you. Larry, let me disregard that contract I gave you Saturday night. Okay. That's that personal services deal. You don't want to read the fine lines, Lummy. I own you.
Okay.
Well, what I'm saying, Dan, is I think if it's doable, me and Rob Kahn should do it. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
In the back, we got the real estate, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And we grow a little grass, but I like when they fight in the dirt. But we at least, Lummy, when we start our fight club, Bubba Fight Club, when we start it, we at least, we have grass. Yeah. We, plant some grass, have some nice. Now, as people start, rolling around and fighting, our grass might, become less grass. Like, boy, the goats, they've really eaten. There's not 1 ounce of grass back there, is there?
No, they do a good job keeping it down.
My God. Those 2 goats, I mean, like, Lummy, we have to now give them feed because there is no more foliage. At all.
Nope.
Like they almost agent oranged it. Did they not?
They sure did.
Yeah.
I had to put some seed down the other day.
It's not gonna.
I know it's not gonna take.
It's not gonna take.
I think they already ate all. So
Dan, seed. I want you to look into that.
I will.
Because I mean,
now this doesn't mean that it's legal schmeagle, but they have done Street Beefs Tampa before. So I think you might be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's loose kickboxing, MMA boxing rules. So it's really not even like.
Well, Rob was saying, and Rob has been part of many of a sanctioned, fight and cornered and things like that, that if you, have, I guess they at gyms, they call them smokers. I don't know why they call them that, but it's like a competition amongst everybody in the gym. And it's not
like an in-house tournament.
Yeah. And it's you don't have to get it sanctioned or anything like that. It's an in-house deal. So Rob said he knows of some situations where there are fights, and there's not a sanctioning body or the state of Florida has to be involved. But because there is no.
All right, well, according to statute 548.008, no match involving amateurs which utilizes but is not necessarily limited to strikes or blows to the head may be held in this state unless it is sanctioned and supervised by an amateur sanctioning organization approved by the commission as required in this chapter. You can't do it in this state without some kind of organization.
Then how did Street Beats do Tampa?
They got away with it, and they're lucky because it's a misdemeanor. It's a criminal offense. In fact, it says a felony to 3rd degree.
And if I'm doing it, there's
3rd degree felony. They're coming after you. You're not Hunter Biden or Joe Biden.
I need to have somebody else look into it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they'll agree with me.
Yeah, I guess the Tampa thing must have been sketchy, but ESPN literally ran a story on Street Beefs in 2019, and it says that there is no admission fee, fighters are not paid, so it is not sanctioned, which means it is 100% legal. It is outside the jurisdiction of state licensing.
How about that, Dan? Just saying.
In Florida, or in a generic state. So in Florida, they're really specific about boxing because Florida's a huge boxing state.
Can you look up and see if there's any Florida street fighting?
Yes.
Just to see if they are doing it in Florida. Because if they are, if we can,
Man, you want to talk about Florida street fighting? Just Google Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, and that wasn't sanctioned by anybody, wasn't it? No.
That was him just whooping dudes' ass on the street.
Bubba Slice Productions
down by the boat ramp.
Yeah.
Outside the storage shed.
We got the facility. We got the delivery mechanism.
Yep.
We got a guy that can do the fencing. We got a guy that can do the wood. We got a doctor if needed. I got Rob Kahn, and he said he'd put his name on it. Yeah,
And to be a doctor during a fight, you have to be sanctioned by the state and be licensed by the state to be a doctor.
Well,
for
you
fighting.
are, aren't you?
Not my fight doctor license is not. I do not have a fight doctor license right now.
Well,
it's not active. To be in the corner. I had to have a seconds license. I had to have a specific license to be the cut man. That had to be renewed every year.
Yeah, well, we're going to try.
I can get one. We can get I can get the fight doctor license. It's not hard to do. You just have to go through the motions.
We need to keep you out of it. No, I do. I think you need to distance yourself from this particular endeavor, just for a lot of different reasons.
Okay.
I'm just saying nothing. I'm not nothing disrespectful. Just that I don't. No, I don't even know that you should be there. To be honest with you,
yeah, I got kicked out of the whole state.
Well, just because
Georgia.
because you might be right, and so since you might be right, attending and participating in this event that you know for a fact we shouldn't be doing, you probably have more to lose than we do. Right?
Yeah, what if you get rolled up on and shut down? You don't want Dan
there.
there.
You don't want you there, Dan.
Yeah.
And they roll back the tape, and they have record of you saying, don't do it, but yet you're there and you did it. You don't think Steve will flip out on everybody?
Oh, yeah, he would definitely.
Exactly. He will no longer let us be friends if I am the guy that lost your medical and your legal license.
We'll have to have a secret friendship.
No, we're not going to have a friendship if you attending my outlaw boxing match causes you to lose your medical and your legal license. You think I'm going to be allowed to have anybody as a Diaco? They're all you guys are going to.
I'm going to be the only job I got is being a regular guest on your show.
You guys are going to hate me more than Hogan does.
Yeah, but my only job, my only career path is going to be a regular guest on your show.
But this doesn't pay nothing.
Well, I mean, we'll have to change that.
Dan, what I could pay you is about what you pay a scrub nurse.
Hey, if I got nothing else coming in, man, it's better than zero.
That's true. We're looking. Let me look at it.
I found one.
Start looking around.
Wait a second. Did you say we have a hard out at 6:52?
Yeah, we do have a hard out at 6:52, and we're at 6:50, 1:15.
I just got confirmation.
Any more distractions?
No.
I'm nuts. Give me your little high spot, making Dan look stupid.
Oh, about the Orlando Fight Club, Underground Fight Club. There's one in Orlando. And that's like it's just pretty much put up in someone's backyard. They put it on video and they kind of move it around.
Yeah, well, you know what? Us having it at the BRN, we're pretty much telling her. I mean, we'd be busted in the second week.
The second time, exactly.
He's calling shenanigans on the D. The Bubba the Love Sponge show returns after these words.
They gotta get this guy ready. My bad. Tell him, let me, my bad.
My bad. Very much.
You L?
Yeah, L.
That's a great idea, Snizzle. You should do a fight with Anna and a Palestinian.
Oh, that's not nice.
Why should I kick her on this? Why don't you kick the other person's ass?
There's a machete or something that they can. Just kidding.
Trying to get me in trouble, bitch.
Sorry.
It wouldn't go past the first minute. It would be one of those fights that would, like, you question if action was in the corner when they started it, because it would be like.
If you fought who?
Babyface.
Oh yeah, Dan would kill him.
I asked how many rounds he'd go.
About a quarter of a
I
round.
almost don't feel fair sending Babyface even out there.
It wouldn't be fair.
It looked like Apollo Creed going after one of his sparring partners.
When Apollo Creed fought the Russian.
Remember they show Apollo Creed, the Gemini, just beating the shit out of people?
Mm-hmm. Especially when he was really mad.
And Mr. T, too. He was losing all his sparring partners.
Where can I push you? I don't know if they're connected.
Huh?
We're connected. He's got no picture.
They know when he got punched.
Or whatever you need.
Or whatever his name is.
Both Lundgren.
Yeah. That they took him to the hospital.
Oh, I think your hard drive either came or is coming today.
Okay.
He was still his cardiologist.
That
Oh, because he's like, well, remember
That big one we got?
They were friends.
They were
He said
friends.
there was none go wrong.
Right.
And like,
Catholic hospital.
6,
oh, he's like,
5,
oh,
6.
done.
What was that?
Shit.
12 terabytes, I think.
Is that a lot? Was that more than we got?
I think we have.
that?
That's what we got last time. I think.
Oh.
So now we have 24 terabytes.
What it looked like when they put like a big Marine against a female.
I'll down the
Marine.
line and see if the talkback is. Don't mind. Does it record? Okay.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we got it.
They're fighting domestic.
Fighting,
I'm gonna go back in the back and crop them up.
Oh, he gets a lot.
Yeah, just snap. It's about the thickness of them too. He's got. I think Barbie's got. I think the Barbie dolls have a bigger neck than Brian. Yeah, so does Barbie.
That's true.
I didn't know that.
Are you going to go to, San Luis?
It's night there, isn't it? 6 hours.
We're at 40.
8 hours. So it's like 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
I got a dog so bad, Bubs.
Is that Jack's Dyson in the background?
I think so.
Who's the one we have?
Hell yeah.
You're marked out to his Dyson. Nail
Right.
that place here.
Jack's leather, he's got a Dyson.
Something else.
Okay, 1 minute.
1 minute.
Let me turn the volume down on this.
Philistine?
The Philistines were the Palestinians. The
Okay,
Palestinians
where am I
were the
getting that
Philistines.
back for? Is that
Oh.
In the Bible.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
probably fucking Facebook?
I learned that the Romans
No.
gave the name Palestine to the people that lived in that area.
Oh, really?
So they talk about colonialism, how shitty it is, and it's been their land. That's what the Romans called them. There weren't even Palestinians or Arabs there. Because Islam wasn't
Right.
invented.
No, it wasn't invented that. Muhammad hadn't been born.
It was like the 8th century. So the Jews have been there since like
3,000
years. Do you want to go back to history page?
You want to go back in history all the way back? It's the Jews' land.
Lummy, we're gonna find to make Dan look done that we can find. Okay. Okay.
Everything Muslim and Christian.
Working on it.
Very few Jews left.
The thing is,
Have we had
it's
any
so
money
open
today,
that
Lummy, or are we a bunch of?
No, that's what I was saying. We need them to think about
I
where
love
we
Jerusalem.
at.
Jerusalem
I'll
is
shut
mentioned
it down.
Splintered memories looming up out of the time fog.
Lost somewhere between fiction and reality.
Madness that made no sense at all.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lummy, Charles Shekel. Is that somebody we're supposed to know?
No.
Charles
Seckle?
Sekel.
Yeah, that's Chuck and Leslie.
Oh, Papa. Chuck and Ed Leslie. 100 on the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army. And we got Jack standing by from Tel Aviv with his Dyson vacuum cleaner behind him. Jack, you there, buddy? Can you hear me? All right, well, we can't hear you. We're going to have to make some adjustment here. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, Jack, we can't. I think you can.
No.
There you go.
Now you
There
can
you
put me on. I was on mute.
Hey guys,
Come
how you
on,
doing?
Jack. Learn how to use the buttons. You're a teacher and everything. You're smarter than that. Come on, buddy.
I actually turned it off and I'd forgotten.
Where's
Here's Yael, by the way, and
we weren't going to continue.
Did you practice my name?
we weren't going to continue this on, Jack, if Yael wasn't going to be present. We were just going to say, Jack, good seeing you, buddy. But Yael is the one that brings the heat, so we love her. Okay?
That's why I married her, Bubba.
Oh, yeah, I bet you she's a real firecracker. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and you're completely right.
So, Jack, now you guys are in Tel Aviv, and a lot has transpired since we last talked to you. Because when we first talked to you, this was kind of all getting going. It was like within the first probably week of this thing happening.
Yes. Absolutely.
Now, what's really, really happening over there, and we can tell you what they're telling us, but what's really happening over there? What they're telling us is, Anna, what are they telling us, kind of?
Just that there's now a ground invasion and that they're trying to move, 2 million people from the north to the south. And according to my sources, stuff that I heard last night, there's still 400,000 people in North Gaza because Hamas won't let them leave. So...
Absolutely, Anna, you're right, and Bubba, that the Israeli forces are having a hard time because, of course, as everyone knows, Hamas is using their citizens as human shields, and we have to be very, very careful. And we're a very moral army, and we don't want to hurt the citizens, and it's very, very challenging, as you can imagine.
But Hamas is using that to their advantage, knowing that you guys actually have some morale, and you guys are trying to do this the ethical way, and they are using that to their advantage to make this thing way harder than it could be.
But even worse than that, Baba, they're hoping that their citizens will be hit, so they can then use their propaganda against Israel, and they're doing this all the time, and they're lying about it. I mean, this is completely just crazy, and they're being caught out all the time lying, but then they keep on using the same things all the time, and they just repeat this over and over, and these useful idiots around the world are standing up for Hamas, and we kind of don't understand what's going on.
We have all these little protests about pro-Hamas and pro-Palestinian, and we have a whole bunch of it happening here in America, and I can't even wrap my head around, like, if you're just a person that's a fair person, just you don't even have a dog in this fight, and you're just a fair person on what is right and what is wrong. I can't understand how people can have anti-Israel type stances or rants, but oddly enough, it seems like it's a rallying call for everybody that just wants to be different and be just abrasive and a dick. And when we have a lot of it here that's happening here, and I can't wrap my head around it, quite frankly.
But don't you think it's a victim occupy thing where the occupier is now the bad guy and the victim must be the good guy?
Once you've identified who the oppressed is and who the oppressor is, then everything that the, quote, oppressor does is wrong and can be the target of all your hate and, horror. But if you are the victim, you can do no wrong. So people have already made the determination that the Palestinians are the victim, they're the oppressed, and so they can do no wrong.
Well, interestingly, in America, people would argue and could argue that all of those civilians were aiding and abetting Hamas because they're all their family. It's their brothers, it's their parents, it's their kids. Everyone's aiding and abetting them. And so arguably in America, they would all be guilty, every one of them. Because if there's 100,000 Hamas or 150,000 Hamas soldiers, that means that is exactly the fighting age of the 2 million that live in Gaza. So arguably, those are the only people of fighting age. So if you extrapolate that to the rest of the population, that's everybody in Gaza.
I mean, Jack and Yael, does there come a point where you just can't be nice about it? And, you're trying to do it the right way, but Hamas is being a bunch of dirty bastards and, using techniques and non-uniformed people and they're just being very unethical. There is some rules in war, and they're breaking all of them. And there comes a point where you just might have to exterminate everybody.
Well, we think about it, but we can't really do it because we don't want to be that kind of a person. We don't want to change. You know that our soldiers are protecting the Palestinians that are moving from the north of Gaza to the south and trying to cross into the safe air zone. And the Hamas people are shooting them and our soldiers.
And we're risking our lives.
We're risking our lives, and our soldiers are willing to risk their lives to help the Palestinians. Now, in Hebrew, there's a word called fryer. Do you know what a fryer is?
Yeah, I love when I put onion rings and French fries in a fryer. Oh man, yeah, that's my favorite.
Fryer is a sucker, and obviously we'd rather be suckers taken advantage of, and it's a heavy price, but we just can't change. I mean, it sounds what you say is logic. Let's just wipe them out. The easiest thing is to take a few bombs, drop down on the buildings and finish them off. But we can't. Obviously, we can't.
I know you can't, but if you, and I'm not arguing with you guys, okay? I'm on, first of all, I feel for you. I'm on your team. Like, I'm pro-Israel. This is ridiculous. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's, as America, help Israel however we need. Let's keep the region stable. Let's keep Iran, Iraq. Let's keep those people held accountable. I'm for all of that. But it almost comes to a point is the nicer that you are in trying to get the good Palestinians safe and any other, Israelites that are Israelis that are in the strip and need to get out of there. I'm all for that. But it seems a point where it's like when we fought the Taliban in Afghanistan, we eventually just had to quit because we could not beat them because they're so unidentifiable, and you just don't know. They're just like a bunch of cockroaches, and you can't put your thumbs on them. And we got the hell out of Afghanistan. Don't know if that was right or wrong, but it just probably because we'd been there 20 years and we could never ever finally get the Taliban in control. So is that potentially what you guys might be facing?
The Taliban's not on our border, though.
But Bobby, you need to understand, I mean, and the world does understand this, the brutality that they attacked us with. They beheaded babies, they put babies in ovens, and their parents had to watch them burn. They killed children in front of their parents. They killed parents in front of their children.
They're a bunch of barbarians. They're savages. They're the worst people.
I have to say it.
No, but it's true. It's true, and we've gotten reports of that, and we also got a report just last week where that girl, the real cute girl from the music festival, where they actually beheaded her. She was like hostage number one, or she was one of the more high profile ones, and they beheaded her. So, listen, I know we're trying to be nice about this, but I mean, these savages are not going to get less savage, I don't think.
No.
Look, it's not only our opinion in Americans, the people, the whole world, I don't know if it's divided, but there are a lot of people that are for the Palestinians. Only today we got a news item that finally Sweden and Norway and Denmark are prepared to say something in the favor of Israel, that it was a terrible thing, but they never used to support us. So how can it be? You say intelligent, free people, liberal with human rights, even they see the other side. So what's the world? What's humanity all about?
Well, I tell you what humanity is all about. Humanity is all about, everybody's gotten so now used to being able to say whatever they want and for shock value and shock reason. And so a normal person that can think clearly and decipher right from wrong would say X, but some smart ass that's got a YouTube channel and an X channel and a Twitter channel and all that kind of deal, he knows that he can say Y, which is, anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian, and get a group of people to follow him, which he thinks at that point is kind of a cool thing, and he's got a little bit of an audience, and it's not the right thing to say, but instead it's the not even popular, but it's the shocking thing that will draw people to his channel, and it's just this is turned into a social absolute social abortion, and it's just like I don't know if it's ever going to end, because people of Israel have to stop worrying about what people think and what people the protesting in America and the protesting, and they just need to get the job done. They need to stop worrying about what we think, and they just need to get the job done.
You see, Israel is too small for that. Why were the Jews always executed? The Holocaust, because we weren't big enough, we weren't strong enough, and people take advantage of the weaker nations. They're scared to go. We're not anymore, but they're scared to go against America, against Russia.
Well,
against China.
So is the general consensus in Israel that we've not given enough support? Because I feel as if we haven't. I feel as if we haven't. We've kind of played both sides of the fence. There was a press conference last week, where Joe Biden said, okay, so we're here for Israel, but we're giving however many zillion dollars to the Palestinians to safely get out. And so it's like, that seems like we're kind of middle of the fence, not drawing a definitive line in the sand. I think we need to be publicly way more pro-Israel to try to show the world where we are. Maybe we're half-assing it.
We feel that America's amazing and supporting us and really doing, I think, more than what we ever hoped for, but not for the long run. And we know our time is very short. We know that in a month's time, America will say, that's it. Now you go and you come to some kind of a treaty. You stop the fighting. But that's the feeling I get, that we feel all the time that we might have to go against America. And a lot of people
hold on. Yael, you usually are pretty much on point. So you're saying that there's some people in Israel that thinks that you guys might have to go against us someday? Because I don't think that would ever happen.
Or just not have the support of Israel.
Against the wishes of the American government.
The American government, it will say, okay, stop.
Have a ceasefire.
That's it.
That's enough.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
No, Bubba, I don't see that happening.
We won't listen.
We got a real bozo in there right now, and he's very and he's real unpredictable, and he's real old, and he sometimes says things, and I think he poops his pants at night. So we don't know what the hell that guy's thinking. He doesn't even know what he's thinking.
I think that Joe Biden's administration is going to say stop, and I think Israel's going to ignore it. And I don't think it's going to matter that they ignore it. I think, America is still going to be there, because as long as Israel's in it, America's in it. And they can say all they want. But, Israel didn't tell America to stop when they went into Iraq and Afghanistan. No one did, because America said we have the right. And Israel is saying now that they have the right. And arguably they do.
Mm-hmm. Especially because it's on their border.
Right.
We don't have a choice. Israel doesn't have a choice.
Do you think we would have got to this point if Donald Trump had been in? Don't you think that we would have had a peace treaty with Saudi Arabia?
I think you're completely right. I think you're completely right.
Well, that's Jackie's personal opinion.
That's what
Jack's dead on with our opinion as well. I think
Jack's MAGA.
I think Jack solidifies or has the belief that a lot of us do, and that Donald Trump's probably a little more heavy-handed, and it was been more of a deterrent. And Hamas would have maybe thought, wow, if we do this, this current president does X, but Trump would have done Y, and I guarantee you it would have been way more aggressive than what this guy did.
Just as crazy as what they are, Bubba.
No, I know.
Trump, you don't want to mess with him, man.
So are you saying that Israel probably in our next election, which will be a year, just right out a year from now, are you guys saying Trump would be probably better for you guys than the current guy?
Well, some people believe that. We also divided in our opinions, like you Americans. I mean, Trump is like half the population, isn't it? The Americans and half still vote for Biden. So we also divided over that, But we feel that America has definitely helped us get into this situation. They've gone with us. They've advised us. They saw us along the way. And the fact that we were slaughtered like this is definitely part of Americans' strategy. And Americans forcing us to do it, talking to us to give up at certain times, to give in. And before, in the previous wars, we had to give in. They wouldn't let us go till the end.
I think we need someone in America who will look Iran in the eye and say to Iran, if you do this, we're going to do that, and they've got to stand by it, because what's happening right now, there's no one there to put them in their place, and Iran has to go, because until Iran doesn't go, this is not going to stop.
And we just did a
They
business
are the
deal with
main
them, or a
players over
hostage
there,
switch.
and I believe that.
Go ahead,
that
Anna.
this is not gonna
Tell
stop.
Jack that. I'm sure Jack knows.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that they're aware that I think maybe a month before the attack, we had the hostage exchange. It was like 5 for 5, and then they also unfroze $6 billion.
Yeah, but see, it was more than that though. Here's what gave Hamas and Iran the ability to do this. Our change in our fuel policy, our oil policy, and our change in sanctioning against Iran and revisiting the Iranian nuclear deal, all of those things gave Iran the power to generate billions and billions of dollars in revenue over the last 3 years. It wasn't just that $6 billion that was released, because that it was almost too quick after that. It was the last 3 years of this administration's policy giving Iran the ability to make billions and billions and billions of dollars on oil and destroying our own oil business and our own energy autonomy. And again, with this real, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, love for the Muslim cause and the Hamas cause and the Palestinian cause. When you watch how they react to this, how Kamala Harris reacts to it. In fact, her daughter is raising money for Hamas and the Palestinians.
I saw that.
And so it's disgusting the way they're trying to play both sides of the fence, when obviously this was a gross, disgusting, inhumane attack against Israel. And who would blame any country for retaliating after something that barbaric?
And her father is Jewish.
Right. And that's the other thing I can't understand, guys. How American Jews can turn their backs on their Jewish brethren in Israel. It still baffles me how someone even Chuck Schumer doesn't really give two rats' asses about Israel. I can't understand that.
Me either. That's my fundamentally problem that I have, is that we have Israelis here in America that are protesting against Israel. And to me, I can't even wrap my head around
that. They call
that.
for a ceasefire because they want to say they love peace, blah, blah, blah. But something really interesting has actually happened with the left in America, is that they're fractured over the issue of Israel, because a lot of the lefties are Jewish, and a lot of those Jews support Israel, and a lot of people on the left do not. So you see this kind of fracturing, which is why Biden is trying to play both sides, right? Because Israel's our ally, so we have to help our allies, and it's the only democracy in the West, and strategically that's good for us. But also he's trying to secure votes. So he's sending a lot of humanitarian aid.
Joe Biden's in trouble when I get two great people that are living in Tel Aviv right now that are saying this guy, Donald Trump, probably would be better for what we got going on right now. So, I mean, that can't be good for Biden, in my opinion.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
It hasn't been good up till now. It hasn't been good for us.
We can't know, but we need someone with strength who understands that these people in our neighborhood only understand strength. You can't reason with them. You can't bargain with them.
You can't be nice to them.
You can't be nice to them. You got to use strength.
Well,
but we can't tell America.
And Hamas is not. They're not level-headed people like you and I. They're not. They're not even wired like us.
I think Golda Meir said you can't negotiate with people who want to kill you.
Right. Now, what about like Saudi Arabia and Jordan and some of the other countries that are around you? What are they saying? Are they lending their support, or are they staying out of it?
Well, Jordan is against us, of course. They've taken a very extreme, and Turkey, and even in Egypt, the rulers are they're scared. They're scared they could be murdered. The king of Jordan was murdered once because of his peacemaking with Israel. So they can't. They're also afraid for their.
I have a theory, and I don't know. And this is what I think. I think that everyone is scared of Iran, and if all the Arab countries came together, I don't know about Turkey, but if the others did and they put a little bit of support towards Israel, things would change all of a sudden. Their lives would be better. They'd be doing business with Israel. There'd be peace.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy? That's going to have to be an Israeli person, an Israeli dignitary. Who's the guy that gets a hold of these leaders and puts that deal together? Who's that guy for you?
It was kind of Trump.
Well, we need an American behind because South Arabia wants to see a prize from America for doing it. We are just a small screw in the middle of the way. They want from America guarantees.
So that diplomatic negotiation of getting Turkey to have a different mindset and to get these various countries, surrounding countries, would have to take an American, a strong, high-level ranking American to put this deal together. And a high-rank Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, somebody super, maybe outside of the president, puts this strategic alliance together, and at that point, I think you guys have you can fix this situation. I think.
I think we will go with any good American program like that. It doesn't risk us.
We need to get The Rock. We need to get, we need to get for them The Rock and Shaq.
But wait a second. Wasn't Trump? Sorry, under the Trump administration, weren't they? I mean, relations between Israel and Saudi Arabia were on its way to be normalized, right? And same with Israel and Morocco. And
the Abraham Accords
right.
were just
running.
And that is why that the attack happened when it did, because they were trying to create chaos and a schism, right? Because the last thing that Iran wanted was an alliance between like the Sunni Arab world and Israel, because that's a lot harder to fight than if everybody is just against Israel.
Yes, that's right. Definitely had an effect on it. The timing that they did. I mean, they've been planning for 15 years, building all these things, terrible technology in the Gaza Strip. But they found the timing now because also America was weak, Israel was weak, everyone was weak against Iran.
They look at us as weak right now, Dan. They look at us because we got this old poop in his pants president. Now we're weak.
We're Afghanistan, how we left there.
We have no interest in doing anything constructive there, and Biden's not even strong enough to wipe his own butt. So it's frustrating.
Why didn't Biden continue with the Abraham Accords with Saudi Arabia?
Because
anyone explain that?
Because he doesn't have any love for Israel, and you're seeing it now. His tepid assistance is defining his real intentions. And he wanted to give more money to Ukraine than Israel. He wanted to give more money to Hamas and Gaza than Israel. And it's disgusting. It's really disgusting that we are turning our backs on an ally that was really shamelessly attacked. If they had organized their army and crushed through the wall and tried to fight like big boys,
did it militarily,
it would have been different.
Right.
And fought soldiers and not civilians. I mean, anyone can fight civilians. They're unarmed. They're soft targets. It's cowardly to attack children and to do terrorist acts like burning babies alive in an oven in front of the family. It's disgusting. And like I said, they're all complicit. They're all aiding and abetting the soldiers. The whole Gaza. They're all guilty in my mind.
Yeah, agreed.
So what's the next step? It has to be a world decision. That's what we think. We're waiting
I think the next step is we are going to be in constant limbo with the current bozo that we have in place, and it's going to be a longer thing than it could be. If we had a different leader in place, it would be probably a more efficient and better outcome. And with this guy that we have in place, until we have a change there some way, shape, or form, I think you guys are going to be in a constant state of flux and never really have an exclamation point on the outcome here. You're always going to be fighting Hamas, just even little sleeper cells of them. I don't know that you'll get the closure that you would get if you had a strong America backing you.
What's going on in the West Bank? I'm not paying too much attention, but is there violence erupting there, or it's pretty controlled?
Well, at the moment it's controlled because our army is in there very forcefully. I think they're taking advantage of Hamas, anti-Hamas feelings all over the world, and our army is definitely going in and destroying their homes and demolishing homes. And we've got over 1,000 Hamas people in the Western Bank. We've taken now as prisoners of war, and we're very hard there, and we are worried worried that they will also get up, but they can't on their own. Again, if Hezbollah is not prepared to interfere and the Hamas is losing in Gaza, they realize they can't go alone on this issue. So we're hoping they won't be too involved. The same like we're hoping Hezbollah won't get involved, because only if Iran comes stronger or the other forces. I mean, Yemen has been throwing rockets at us. Can you believe it? If no one else interferes, we can keep them under control.
And is
that's
that
what
coming
we're
from
trying to do.
Is that coming from the Houthi Iran-backed forces?
From who?
The Houthis?
Yes, the proxy.
Yeah.
The proxies. Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. The Hamas, is a lot of Hamas in the Western Bank. A lot of Hamas.
I also heard that there was some Hamas leadership that isn't even in Gaza or the West Bank. Like they're controlling from like Qatar and stuff in their 5-star hotels while the citizens burn.
That's a difference between us and them.
Yeah.
Their leaders are cowards. They're hiding in comfortable hotels. Our leaders go first and get killed.
Right.
And they volunteer. Our nation is amazing. The way people are helping. Everyone wants to help. We've had 140% volunteer, more people enlisting for, how do you say, Miluim?
For
reserves.
Reservists.
And some people are being released because we don't need so many reserves. And they go and hide all over the world. That's a big difference, because our people realize it's a war for our lives, for our existence, for the future of our children. And it's amazing.
What about school wise? Are you guys still doing school every day? And
we're teaching, and
we teach a lot. We go to the houses of the pupils, and in the middle we have these sirens, and we have to jump out of our cars and lie on the side.
Last night we had a siren, and it's very strange. I was outside my student's house, and I was pressing the button to get in, and because there was an alarm, there was a siren. I switched off my car, and it was just woo! Jumped out of my car, pressed the button. They were obviously in their safe rooms. So I had to just cower by a wall and just wait for it to pass. And it was actually quite interesting to see
when a siren blows, I mean, like there's probably certain levels of things and what you got to do. So when a siren goes off, does that mean there's been bombs detected headed that way? Is that what that means?
To our direction, exactly.
The trajectory of the bomb is in your neighborhood. If the siren goes off in your neighborhood,
yeah. And then and like how often, like let's say a day or a week, could you guys get a siren?
We're getting them all the time.
No, twice or 3 times a day.
Yeah. All the time.
And now, like you in your house or your apartment there, do you guys have a safe room per se, or do you have to go somewhere else?
Well, we go downstairs, 2 flights of stairs. We've got a shelter. It's an old building, and fortunately, we have a shelter from the War of Independence, I think. And people say it's the best out of everything because it's got proper concrete in the basement. So, but we have to run, definitely. We have to drop everything. Once Jackie was in the bath, and he had to jump out of the bath and run downstairs. So,
did he just have a towel? Did he have a towel around him? And were the chicks like, "Whoa, look at Jack over there"?
Yeah, I managed to get some pants out.
What's the capacity of like that particular shelter?
Well, that shelter, we are only 6 apartments, and it can definitely seat everyone.
Okay.
And because of this war, we brought people people had stored for many years stuff inside. We had to get them clear everything, clean out the shelter. So we do feel pretty safe in there. But sometimes you're outside, you go to teach, you want to try and handle a life. You can't just cut off of life and not teach your pupils, especially English, we feel is so important. So it's not easy, but we are determined.
And many companies are closing down, Baba. They can't continue to run it. No workers are coming in from Gaza coming into work. So the farms are suffering. Everyone's.
So we said we have to help the Israeli economy, and a lot of people understand that in Israel. So on last Friday, we had a birthday party for my daughter. So we said we are going to find a restaurant that's open, and it took us a while. We found on the outskirts of Tel Aviv a restaurant, and we came there, all 15 of us, and in the middle there was an alarm. So we quickly ran, and there was a safe room because we did ask in advance.
Right.
Do you have have a safe room.
you
And we had to
imagine
run
asking?
through the kitchen and the burning pots and pans, but we did it. We took the kids to the bomb shelter and we started dancing because we've got young grandchildren of 2-3 years old, and we started singing and dancing in the shelter just to cover up. So you see, some people hide in the homes and some people try to continue normally.
But like even just like a home, if you weren't in a specific shelter, I mean, one of those bombs or one of those missiles that hits, I mean, you're done, right? I mean, like if you're not in a shelter, a normal home or apartment can't survive that, I don't think.
Definitely. But these rooms we believe are safe, and if people obey, they can be saved. We have had one, I don't want to talk, you say it's dangerous to talk these days, but maybe one civilian was killed with all these bombs, maybe 2, I don't know, but not many, because people listen to the instructions and
Jack,
do what they have to do.
when the siren went off last night and you couldn't get to a shelter, and did you see the bomb come into the city, or was it you did?
Well, look, I just say to myself, what are the chances that bomb's going to hit me? I've never won the lottery, so it's kind of something like that. So,
Boy, I mean, Jack, I really like your optimistic mindset, my friend. I mean, never won the lottery.
So I just sat down next to the wall and watched the fireworks, and it was very entertaining, but it was very, very nice.
I mean, Jack, one of those warheads could come right, like take you out, bud. Like, come on.
But then you see the Iron Dome take action, and
now does the Iron Dome when so the sirens go off and then supposedly the missiles are coming out, and then can you see the Iron Dome start blowing them?
Absolutely.
You hear the Iron Dome taking
intersection,
off.
And then there's an intersection, a big bang.
If it weren't for
We had such a good thing going.
I know.
Yeah.
Hamas
Biden shut it down.
Or that or Hamas.
Both of them. They're holding hands.
All right. Well, listen, Jack and Yael.
Let's.
Hold on. Yep.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see.
We were cut off.
No, we're still here, guys. We're still here.
Yes.
We just had a power failure. It was just a surge. It was a surge, and
can you see it?
Yeah. We got you. We got you. Solar flare. We got you guys. We got you.
Maybe. Yeah.
So how are the spirit? What's the spirit like of the people that you're interacting with? It sounds like you guys have a pretty good attitude about it.
You guys got great spirit.
Recording stopped.
Listen to this. There's a 23-year-old student, Bruno Velinu. Have you heard of it?
No.
She was killed. She was killed in the party that they were having when the terrorists attacked. And so her parents came down from Brazil to bury her and have the funeral. And they put in the newspaper, please, could maybe just 10 families or 10 people attend the funeral. And they had about 5,000 or 6,000 people coming.
That's so great. That is so great. Well, listen, Jack and Yael, I think we're having connection difficulties.
Yeah.
But we'll get back with you guys in a couple weeks. I don't know that things are going to get better with the bozo that we got, but hopefully you'll give us some more information.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I cut off? We cut off, or
we were cut. We were cut off. We were going to say, listen, in a couple weeks, can we call you back and get another 20 or 30 minute update?
Sure.
Definitely. At the moment, we've cheered up a bit because Israel is doing well in the Gaza Strip, and we are advancing according to plan, and we are definitely winning. But of course, the hostages and the people killed are, very heavy price to pay, and we're all very, very depressed on the other hand. But we have no choice, and we're going to go on being strong and supporting whoever. Each one in my family is doing their share. Each Israeli person is doing his share to help the war.
Well, you guys I got to tell you, as countrymen or as Israeli people, you guys have far more grit and far more perseverance than us soft Americans, because we're over here fighting and arguing about this war that is pretty clear cut on what's going on. And just know that one thing, that we are we feel the same way you do. We feel as if our country should be backing you more. We feel as if our country should be, telling Iran and Iraq and Saudi Arabia and everybody else that might want to stick their nose in here, get the hell out. Let the let them handle this, because they can certainly handle Hamas. We're going to be here. We're going to be here to get their back in case Turkey or somebody gets a little squirrely. And and we're not. We collectively as a show, and the amount of people that we broadcast to, we support Israel. We support, like, no ifs, ands, or buts, and to the point where I'm even a little more barbaric than you guys are. I'm like, if I was Bubba BB, I would say, listen, you got till December 1st to get out of the bad zones, because as of December 2nd, I'm making it a parking lot and I'm killing everybody that's in there. So that's what because that's the only way you're ever going to be able to get rid of Hamas.
That's right.
Is to exterminate them.
Let us finish the job. May America let us finish the job, and hopefully that will solve the problem for many, many nations, not only for us.
So we'll talk to you guys in a few weeks, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Yael. Appreciate you.
Keep well.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Can you imagine? We are so soft, and we are so think that we're so entitled that I don't know that we could even live life like that. Where, Dan, 2 or 3 times we were having to go to a bomb shelter and just hope that we didn't get killed. Like, we are so
that's a concept that we haven't had. We had that fear instilled in us during the 60s and the 70s and the 80s with the Cold War and the nuclear bomb attacks supposedly coming from Russia. So we had that fear, but no one ever really had a real live,
Realistically, our country has never, outside of being invaded by Pearl Harbor, we've never, and 9/11, which were, kind of very isolated parts of the country. I know 9/11, they were targeting a couple different ones, some of which worked and some of which don't. But for the most part, we have never had to worry about anything other than weather. The only thing that will take us out is weather.
Well, we were worried about, in the 60s, we were worried about Cuba. And, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we were worried about Russia. But we never had a live armament lobbed over us.
Yeah.
That has not happened. No one has shot a missile into America in the last 75 years.
If you're living in Tampa, man, you don't have to worry about the siren going off and the Diaco Institute of Plastic Surgery, you and all the girls going down to the bomb shelter.
No.
The only thing you got to worry about is whether you got Wi-Fi or not.
Right.
Don't chalk up their behavior to being crazy rednecks.
Yeah, think about that.
They're just totally insane. Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I love when those balloons were flying over America. The Bidens kept calling them Trump era balloons. Yeah. What was that? GR, that's funny.
I didn't really get any Trump news. There is some in there.
There's a mix of it. His gag order was stayed by an appellate judge. They said you can't gag him. We're gonna have to revisit this one.
You're gonna have to what?
You're gonna have to revisit this one.
Because it's not legal?
You can't gag somebody. No. It's the very First Amendment, the most important one.
Yeah.
He's innocent until proven guilty. He has the right to say what the fuck he wants.
Lummy, you had to be feeling so good when the Bucks won it with 49 left.
Oh, I was fucking.
You're like, I mean, not like a field goal won't even hurt us. They need a fucking full-blown touchdown.
That's right. In 49 seconds, they can't kick a field goal. Defense played but 49 seconds left. You thought they would be able to play some fucking coverage. Nope. Same fucking guy caught the 2 passes to fucking score.
They need to get rid of Bowles.
That defensive call was just pathetic on that. You play prevent, and they find literally the 2 spots. I mean, for a rookie quarterback to be able to find those 2 spots is bad. And the same cornerback got burned for 3 TDs. He's been one of our best.
What was the Texans' record?
They were both 3 and 4, I believe.
Yeah, they were the same as ours. 3 and 4.
And they put their running back in there to kick?
Yeah, he was like a 3rd string running back because the kicker got hurt before halftime.
They didn't even try to kick it. They didn't want a chance of return for 6.
Huh?
At the end of the game. You're talking about Texans.
Yeah.
When they go ahead touchdown, they didn't even try to kick it because they didn't want to have a fuck up. They just took the knee.
Oh yeah. But he kicked the field goal earlier on. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But they didn't want to risk. They got lucky there. They didn't want to risk after that.
But he went in. They were doing 2 the whole time, and finally he did that. You okay, Bubba?
Yeah.
No do a Jaime on you?
No Jaimes.
Sure.
Big E737-550 on the super chat.
Yeah, we need some money. That's what the fuck we need.
Come on, guys.
We're gonna have to fucking close it. We're gonna have to shutter.
Shutter.
Close the shutter, Lummy.
Close shutter.
October was the worst month.
Good morning, Felix.
Worst month in a while. Close the shutter and say it.
Close the shutter, and we're not gonna do Bubba's fight camp.
Hopefully we don't shutter before Bart.
Hey, Bubba, can I do a Danny 198? Maybe help out a little bit?
No.
Okay.
No.
Where you got the mic?
Are you still going to Colorado?
I do have some ideas that are involving you, Danny.
Okay.
I love having those 2 on because it kind of gives you a global perspective on how the world thinks of us.
Yes.
Like, okay, take CNN and Fox, take the highly polarized news reporting cycle that we're exposed to, right?
Right.
Unless you really dig down deep on each topic, you just can't rely on the way the news is giving you a particular topic. You got to dig down deep on it to find. Because both sides have an agenda, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, so if you remove yourself not only from our news cycle, but from our country, and see how they're reporting it, that's to me I find that very interesting as to how the Israeli media and people feel about us. We know that we're a bunch of fuck ups. We're protesting this, protesting that. I mean, literally. Here, this is a conversation I probably need to have on the air. Here we go.
Yeah, Big E7375.
I like you. Do you like me? All gimmicks, willies, Joneses, McGillicuddies, shenanigans, hickeys, and bamboozles are property of Bubba the Love Sponge Enterprises. Great success! All violations will be dealt with swiftly and painfully. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
High five.
As you know, we're very transparent here at the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, Bubba Army Radio, the Bubba Army, and October was one of our worst months. Now, I did take some time off. Most people have already, October is the first month after you've already qualified for BARP. So, Lummy, you might be like, phew, I just qualified for BARP. I need a couple months, relief. I understand all that. But anyway, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all at the Bubba Army. That's what keeps the show on the air.
Big E7375, 50 on the Super Chat.
Thank you so much. Now, as we approach 100,000 on YouTube, which we're only, as of this morning, 1,393 away, go to your YouTube. Just go to YouTube. Make sure you sign up for an account, first of all. It's free. And then go to this specific channel called at the Bubba Army, and you join or you follow us, or join, follow, and then get a notification. Hit the notification bell, and it'll tell you anytime that we have content that we put up. Like, for instance, Lummy, we are going to have a Alex Stein boxing video.
Yes.
That Rhett's putting together. Rhett puts together a bunch of Hogan stuff. Rhett puts together all kinds of stuff. When I get my Crown Vic back, Lummy, from Alex at Fender Works, which I heard is very close to being done.
Awesome.
He's the best. I'm going to give him some cash because he really spent a lot of money on that. He even, how the windows won't roll down, Lummy, because the whatevers are broken in the middle. He went and got, new window motors. And so the windows roll down. Well, not the back ones because they're made for prisoners, but the two front. Yeah, the back ones, if I put you in the back of my Crown Vic and shut the door, you can't get out. I got to open it back up to let you out because it's truly a cop car.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of great stuff. There's no reason in the world you shouldn't follow us on YouTube because it's free. And it's at the Bubba Army. And we are about 1,393 away from getting 100,000. Now, I'd already agreed to, on our 6,000 download on our podcast.
Millionth?
I'm sorry, on our 6 millionth. On our 6th millionth podcast download, which is going to happen probably today, probably this week. Then I was going to do a show, which might be next Monday, if we hit 6 million this week.
Yeah.
About the, famous pop singer that I had relations with.
Bette Midler.
That when I screwed Bette Midler. Yes.
Nice.
Winds beneath my wings. Yes, when I had colloitus with Bette Midler.
Yep.
Yes, or let's make it Barbara Streisand. That's a bigger star.
Better.
Yeah. So that's what the 6th millionth podcast download is going to be. I'm assuming, Lummy, that might be next Monday's show.
Sweet.
We have an exclusive podcast show that we will do today. It's going to have to be somewhat abbreviated because we have a big-ass meeting at 11:30.
And I predicted both of these before Thanksgiving.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Plaisir, 25 on the Venmo.
Thank you so much, Neil Mount Pleasure. Now, I've been scratching my head. What do we do? What do we do for the 100,000th download? We've already earmarked that we're going to do. What popular singer did Bubba blast at the Drake Hotel in Chicago? I think it was the Drake.
That's what you said.
Are you asking us that question?
No,
because I can tell you.
What? I've read various suggestions, and I kind of like this. I just don't know that we could prepare for it because it's involving you guys. But that would be a Bubba roast for our 100,000th subscriber, which would be like I sit on the stage in a chair, and you guys all have little chairs behind me with a podium, and you go up and roast me.
It'd be a really good live stream, too. We could do it up.
But here's the deal.
I'm good on that.
No, hold on.
Yeah, that's a very slippery slope.
What, a Bubba roast?
Yeah.
That's
oh,
not good
come
for me.
on. The thing about the roast is that the guy being roasted can't hold a grudge.
Right.
That's one of the rules
Now,
of a
hold
roast.
on. Now, hold on.
You
And Anna,
you're
screw
gonna
you.
respect that rule, Bubba?
Screw you, Anna. I'm thinking that I am the ease. I let so much through for you guys to get on me. You know that. I mean, come on. Like, there would be nothing
Do
out
I know
about
that?
Yeah, you cut on me all the time,
Depends
bitch.
on the day.
Some
days.
But if we're doing
you're
a
great.
roast, and that's what we're doing, and I'm Mr. Johnny Poopy Pants during the roast, then that's on me.
Can I make a
Especially if it's
suggestion?
his suggestion. He's saying, let's do a roast on him.
Okay.
Right.
So it's not like we're like, making him do it.
I understand, but sometimes minds and hearts change. Can I make a suggestion?
What?
Can you be pilled up?
I can be
Maybe
sure, absolutely.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna tell you that I can't think of anything that would be out of bounds.
Right. And Anna, considering how much you mess with him, I can't believe you're the one that said that.
You're the one that's being a little scary.
How deep can we go? Is it anything off limits?
Gary C25 on the Cash App.
Or does it just have to be kind of like, elementary?
Well, see, here's the thing.
Here's
leave it to, you know what, Dan? Leave it to her to cause a kink in the deal.
I know.
I'm just afraid.
Anna,
strap holder.
Here it is. Here it is. Going after low-hanging fruit is not creative in a roast. And so a great roaster is someone that takes it to a different level and makes it more obscure and makes you think about it a little bit. But saying, oh, Bubba's fat, that's a stupid roast. That's not funny. That's not constructive. That doesn't make anything go forward. But saying something that's talking about like how, no grape is safe is funnier.
Okay.
I mean, hold on.
I agree with you. I'm just afraid.
Let me give you two examples on both ends of the
And I'm not
spectrum.
I wasn't being disrespectful, Bubba.
I know. Let me give you two. Let me give everybody two ends of the spectrum. From stupid to really stiff and funny.
Okay. This would
Bubba's
help.
fat.
Right.
How fat is he? He's just fat. Or Bubba, how did Hogan's penis taste? That's pretty stiff and pretty funny. Right?
Yeah. It's a different level. It has to think. You have to go back a joke. You have to go back to an event. Yes, that's how good roasts are. And if you watch the best people doing roasts, they don't go after a trait or something directly. They go after a consequence of it.
Right.
Well, they go after everything, but...
Well, I'm just saying. You go out anyway. So do you guys... That's something that has been presented to me that I kind of liked.
How is Lummy going to do that?
Lummy's going to have to.
Yeah.
Lummy, you got to roast me.
Okay.
I'm up here, and just the fact of me being at this big podium and making fun of Bubba makes me uncomfortable. I puked 3 times. I have anxiety.
And by the way, if you watch roasts, the person who's up, every person that's up, takes a pick at everybody at the table too often.
Yeah, they
don't
do.
just roast the guy being
Right.
the target. They'll roast the guy next to him as well, or the girl next to him. And so
they'll get one
the
or
best-
two little gimmicks in on Anna.
A sentence for everybody. They pick on everybody one little shot, and then they go after the target. And so a good roast requires creativity, requires diversity, and requires you really having to.
And I know if we got that here.
I'd love to do it. I think it would be fun.
Okay, all right. So let's take a show vote. Rhett, you, Macho Man, everybody. And it is really, I can't think of anything that I would not say is in play. So a Bubba, to celebrate our 100,000 subscriber on YouTube, that one of these Friday nights, Dan, and we would do a Bubba 199, that month too, but we would also schedule a Bubba roast to celebrate our 100,000 subscriber.
May I host it?
Yes.
You want to be the roast master?
Yes, you can be the roast master.
Awesome.
Yes.
Grill master
Now,
to roast master.
So your vote is yes, correct?
Hells yes.
Let me keep score on the votes.
All right.
Okay, but Bubba roast, yes or no. Dan, you just put down one yes. Anna?
I vote yes.
Okay.
I'm scared, but I'll do it.
Lummy?
Yes.
Macho Man?
A big negative.
Okay. And Rhett?
Yes, our stage setup is perfect for
There
it.
you go. So now
It's settled.
So now I think Jay would probably want to participate. And I know Brian. Oh my God!
Brian will be funny. Brian's
he will
funny.
be funny.
He's funny.
He
I
will
think he
be
should absolutely
funny.
participate.
Macho, you don't have to participate. You just got to wire up and make sure we're on the air, okay, buddy?
10-4.
I know you don't want to.
10-4. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't like to say some bad things.
I would think about the things you'd say back, and it'd be like, oh man.
Yeah. If I say this about Bubba, he's going to say it about me, dig it.
I can't wait to make you a target there, Mach. You can't come back.
No, easy on.
I'm playing.
Easy
I'm
on
just
the, on
playing.
the Machi.
I love Mach.
so you can't.
I got
I'm
a
off
drink coming
limits.
for you there, kid.
So, the people so far I have are Lummy, Dan. Dan is the roast master. Anna, Rhett. I'm assuming Brian, and Jay. Right?
Sure.
And can we think of anybody? I mean, anybody else that we could? I mean, would we want to put like a?
You could have a Tom Bean. I'm sure he would say some funny things.
I don't know. He'd want to though.
Well, I think it would be nice to offer it to him.
Yeah, maybe a Brent Hatley.
Brent would be funny,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, because Brent knows me like in some different. Yeah. So yeah,
you know what? Someone just said something that may actually work too. That's maybe primetime 99.
Alex Stein.
Yeah, not the other primetime, but Stein.
Well, Dion, man, let me tell you about Sponge. I can't tell you nothing bad about him. He just got me a new Skag mower. That's my man right there.
Can we talk about that for a second?
What's that?
Are you going this week?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not going. I couldn't get Tony Mandridge to commit. He has some kind of other engagement, and then I was like, I think going out there by myself wouldn't be as fun than going out with somebody. Because, like, listen, if I go out there, I need a guy to be like my camera guy.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't know that I can necessarily have Tony Mandridge as my camera guy either. Right?
That's true.
Yeah, it'd be weird.
Yeah, Tony, who's a bigger star than me in the football world. Film me talking.
Hold my selfie stick.
Film me talking to prime time. So I'd have to take like a you, or a Larry Plummer. I was thinking about taking Larry, but then logistically getting him to Denver the same time I get to Denver, and a rental car, and it was just going to be. It was going to be very.
A ball of gun, as they say, just a mess.
But and not only that, but it was going to be very expensive. Very expensive. I mean, hotel rooms, Lummy, on home games are like $350 a night for the Holiday Inn Express that's 2 miles from the stadium is like $350, $400 a night. And so I was just like, I'm actually going to text Dion today and just say, hey, listen, I can't, my schedule has, what do I say to Dion?
Evolved. My schedule's evolved. Changed.
It sounds weird.
I got a conflict that came up.
There you go.
Or do I not say anything because he probably doesn't even remember?
No, you got to say something.
You said it can't come up.
Okay. So I just don't say nothing because I figured he figured he probably doesn't even remember.
Well, no, just let him know.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Be like prom. I got something that came up. I can't make it. I just wanted to give you a courtesy.
Can't get a hotel.
That I can't make.
First, say that
like
you really wanted to go. Like you're disappointed that you can't make it.
Oh yeah,
make that known.
Of course.
Yeah.
What day were you supposed to fly up?
Wednesday.
Oh God.
That's why I was like.
And with the money being so slow, like when I'm not here, Dan, it's. Whew.
Oh, I know.
There's days that I'm here and we're slow. So we're kind of in our slow period right now. So I got my schedule right here. Dan, by the way, you did get an okay for the Sprinter on Saturday the 18th, correct?
Correct. He said the only thing that would prevent it is if for some reason there's like a mechanical issue, but otherwise, yes, no problem. Because apparently those things are temperamental. But he said yes with a driver.
All right.
So
nice.
I said we're going and coming back.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what's the capacity on that?
I didn't ask, but I've been in it and it's about 7 to 10, 7 to 8.
So
comfortably.
Who wants to go?
Me.
No, Dan, obviously you're going, and we don't have to worry about a driver because he's driving. So we got Dan, me, Lummy, Anna, Merch Crick. Rhett, are you going?
Yes.
Rhett, and then Mach, are you going? You don't have to go.
Is he DC?
Oh, I'm going to need DC.
I'll still be recovering.
Okay.
I got to talk to Dan about IVs and fluids when I get back.
As long as I got an IV drip.
What's he doing in DC?
All right, so
EDC.
EDC. He goes to the
What's he doing in DC?
So we got enough. We have enough room. So we got that. So
okay.
Bubba 199 is on Friday the 17th.
Yes.
Where do we do? Do we do the Bubba roast on the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving?
Oof.
Or is that kind of tough family wise?
I think that might be tough.
I may be out of town, so I say no to that one.
Well, then that would be.
Well, we do it the Friday night or the Saturday night after Thanksgiving.
Well, the Saturday night after Thanksgiving is like that's.
Yeah, I'll be out.
No, not the Saturday night. The weekend after that.
All right,
no, not
so
that weekend, because that weekend a lot of people can be gone for 3 days.
I got it.
Second.
How about we do it on Friday the 1st?
Football. I don't know what time the game is. I definitely don't want to miss this. Can we do it on a Saturday?
Hold on. I don't think it. I don't know if it works as good on a Saturday.
Why?
Because I don't know. I'm just asking. Lummy, do you think
this is such a high ticket item? This is such a very, very significant event. It could absolutely happen on a Saturday night.
Are you fighting football too? I mean, Friday night.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all.
All right, how about now? Do you have Friday football all of December?
The first 3 weeks.
And what is typically your game?
I don't know yet. I haven't seen the schedule yet, but just they're on Friday nights. Sorry.
I don't think you could do it on Saturday. I think you got football, you got college football. This is where you're doing conference championships.
Yeah, the conference championships are on the second.
Dan, here's the deal. Could you find out today what time your games are on Friday?
They haven't even organized the teams yet for no, I can't. There's still open registration. I can't find out this early.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
Well, we were supposed to try to have a Christmas party too. Remember? Like last year we did a little.
That was fun.
Little white elephant Christmas party.
Yep.
Which Dan attends, but it looks like Dan can't
Why don't we do it on Thursday nights?
Because it's not the same, Dan. Thursday nights aren't the same as Friday nights.
Okay.
I mean, am I agree?
But Thursday night people, I think, are more likely to be, home on a computer watching than on a Friday night.
But then Bubba's got to wake up early too.
Yeah. It to be a
goes off his schedule.
We'd have to do it on We'd have to do it on the week of the 18th through the 22nd because that's when we're going to do middays. We're going to be doing like 11 to 1 on that week.
Can we do it then?
Well, what, a Christmas party and a roast?
No.
How about the roast on
like the week
Dan?
of Christmas.
Dan, you said the first 3 Fridays of December. That's the 1, the 8th, and the 15th. Is that saying that the Friday the 22nd you're open?
Yep.
All right. Why don't we do the roast on Friday the 22nd? Even though we will be well over 100, we can still celebrate it, right?
Yes.
So how about we do the roast? Does that interfere with anybody's travel plans?
No.
Lummy, is that doable for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think 22nd's fine.
How about you, Rhett?
Yeah, it should be good.
Oh, but we haven't checked. Okay, so Lummy, you need to check with Brian and Jay.
Yep.
And what would it be, like 8 or 9, 8? What?
I think 8 prime time is like 8 to 10.
8 to 10?
9:30, whatever.
However long it lasts.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we do is we just put the podium up at on the stage, and we just get our couches for people to sit on, right?
Yeah.
And maybe I sit like in a recliner, Lummy.
Yeah, we got to get your recliner put up there.
I get my recliner from my hotel, from my apartment, and just have Big Red put it up like on a couple milk crates, so I'm a little bit higher.
Of course.
There you go.
How many minutes you want? Like 10-minute sets?
10, 15.
Each? Okay.
However, I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to give anybody any. Like, go as long as you want.
All right.
Well, not as long as you want.
It'd be hard to do 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's
a
15.
lot.
Yeah, 15 minutes is a lot. All right. So the roast, Lummy, is on the 22nd. When do we do the white elephant? Maybe on Tuesday the 19th.
Tuesday.
Well, again, bitch. We can't do it any other time.
The 15th is the $199, right?
Yes, the 15th to $199, and Dan's got football. So we're going to have to do the roast and the white elephant on the week of the 18th to the 22nd. We've already denoted as Friday, the 22nd as the roast. So that week,
Tuesday's good.
We need to. I'm thinking not Monday because it's our first day doing midday, but we could use Monday to promote the Tuesday. Yeah, I'm just writing it down.
Okay.
White elephant. And that'll be an 8 to 10 too, as well. So that's all we got. Tuesday, December 19th, we're going to be doing middays, Lummy, 11 to 1, and also a white elephant deal, 8 to 10. Then Friday, we'll do middays, 11 to 1. And then, Lummy, the Bubba roast, 8 to 10 with Dan as your roast master. Does that work for you, Dan? Oh,
Works for me.
Not to be confused with Saturday, the 18th
of
November. Well, first of all, Friday, the 17th of November
And a
is
lot
a
of
Bubba.
stuff.
Friday, November 17th is Bubba 199.
Which is a week from Friday, by the way.
Right.
We just
and
had one.
Saturday, the 18th, will be us taking Rob Elder's Sprinter, if it's mechanically sound, all 7 or 8 of us, over to the Stogies and Cycles party over in Orlando. And it's going to be, if you guys remember the first one we did that's kind of far?
Yes, the one where Seth freaked out and had to sit on a bench, and Dan in the pizza deal.
Yeah, Dan almost broke down the door to the pizza place.
Right.
Yeah.
That one?
I like that. That's my favorite venue.
That's been my favorite venue, too.
So that's where we're going back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
The only thing that sucks about that, it's about another 45 to 50 minute.
Oh, it's further.
Is it?
It's
I was
40.
so messed up, I didn't even know.
It's 45 to 50 minutes further than where we have been having them. But you guys all know that when Dan's going to start out just completely beside himself, and then by the time we get to the Love truck stop, he's going to order like 16 sandwiches.
Yep.
Be stuffed.
And then on the way there, he's going to want some sweets, and then he's going to want to unbuckle his pants because he feels bloated. And then when we get there, he's going to, be the biggest slinging D of all.
Wear tight pants.
Wear tight pants. Dan will say that he will make. He has said this before, that when I walk in to said event, I want every woman and man for that matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
to look at my crotch and to see how big my penis is. I want them to noticeably look at my penis.
Feel the wrath of my wang.
And then when we get going home, when we get to about Lakeland, he's going to be starving, and we're going to have to go through another drive-through, and he'll spend about 80, 90, or $100 with that. And everybody will get ice cream, and he'll have French fries and the whole 9 yards, and he'll be mad because the drive-thru's too slow, so he'll actually go in and put his order in. And then come out, and then he'll end up passing out with his mouth wide open about Winter Haven.
Sounds like fun to me.
That's
Perfect
how,
night.
Let me. That's about how it goes, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Exactly.
Deliciously disgusting.
You're absolutely right.
This is the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Bubba the Love Sponge show. Hello.
Get yourself a shake.
Yeah.
A plant-based shake.
Plant-based.
Oh, okay. Do you want to hold on?
300 grams of protein, no fat, no sugar, no additives,
Right,
all
right,
organic,
right.
plant-based protein. Missing some amino acids, but who cares?
Bubba, on line 1 is the guy that showed up at our studio.
What?
Jim Nance, Jeremy, something.
Joe.
What, Joe?
Yeah. He would like to clarify a couple of things if you would like to take his call.
All right, Crazy Joe.
Crazy Joe.
All right, tell Crazy Joe that we'll be.
I told him we'll be back in 7 minutes.
Okay, tell him that.
Crazy Joe.
This is gonna be good. Steve the Grumpy Old Man. God bless America.
Kicks for guns 2x. There's a
Scary Terry, I don't know if we could all handle that every day. It's a lot. It's a lot. But Alex looked good. He dropped another like 30 pounds.
Yeah, he did look pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought he looked pretty good.
Okay, looked good.
Better than I thought. He's going. And I would have thought the other guy had a little more power behind his punches.
Yeah.
He was
You
a
lose
bitch.
power. You lose power law when you're fucking that tired, man.
Oh, you start budgeting your strength.
Yeah. I don't think they knew how to do that. Luis J. Gomez looked good as fuck. No one's on the title fight but me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he looked really good. Strong, jacked. Motherfucker's probably like
Who
close
did?
to 50. Luis J. Gomez. Everybody left after Alex's fight, but I stayed and watched Lewis fight that other guy, Butterly or whatever. It was actually a pretty decent fight as far as like amateur fights go. Yeah, Lewis has got to be like late 40s. And he was fucking jacked up. 30 plus.
I'm gonna do super beats on me, so tell Crazy Joe to fucking.
All right. Come to you after our super beats read. All right. All right. So just hold on. What's up, Biggie?
Anna's a combat sports expert now because she took a couple taekwondo classes. That's funny.
I don't see it, Biggie.
What?
73, 75 seconds. Message.
Oh.
I got 15 seconds left to check it.
Attention, people of Earth. A big fat blip on corporate's radar screen. This is the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
We all have a very heartfelt reason to support our blood pressure. In fact, more than half of the U.S. population would benefit from blood pressure support, and Super Beet Heart Chews are an easy and convenient way to support healthy blood pressure. They promote heart-healthy energy, and paired with a healthy lifestyle, the antioxidants in Super Beets are clinically shown to be nearly 2 times more effective than promoting normal blood pressure than just a healthy lifestyle in itself. With over 30,000 5-star reviews and counting, Super Beats are the #1 doctor, pharmacist, and cardiologist. That guy. Cardiologist recommended heart chew for cardiovascular health support. It's blood pressure support that you can trust. Support your heart healthy energy trek, if you will, with Super Beat Heart Chews. Get a 30-day supply of Super Beat Heart Chews and a free full-size bag of, say it, Dan.
Turmeric. Get those chews, which are a $25 value, by going to BubbaLovesBeats.com. Again, this exclusive offer only lives at BubbaLovesBeats.com. Thank you, Super Beats. Now, Lummy, you're saying that Crazy Joe, the guy that stopped by our studios, was on the phone?
He is on line one.
What does he want? I mean, like,
he wants to clarify a couple things.
He wants to wear your skin.
Don't run my snorkel.
Hello. Is this Crazy Joe? Is this Crazy Joe?
Yeah, man, I want to say thanks for having me back on the show, man.
Well, at least, Joe, hold on, Joe. You do sound a little more, I would say, sober and more with it than when you were down here at the studio. I think you were coming off an all-night bender down at the Ramada.
Man, it's not that, man. It's been a long journey. And, man, I want to bring something old back to you. Do you remember a place called Skate Odyssey?
Skate Odyssey. Not really.
Back about in the early 90s.
Tell me why I should know about this, Joe.
Man, it's just a memory I had, man. You did a thing and you did a bunch of married stuff, and I was a kid, but you know, it just brought back a lot of memory when I was in Tampa. And
my appearances at Skate Odyssey are legendary.
So, I guess you had to do appearances at skate places, right? Back in the early days. I mean, because they had.
No, I never did.
You never did a roller skating appearance?
There was no way Bubba was doing on Power Pig skating rinks.
No,
I don't know. Maybe in the early 80s when you first started off.
No,
okay.
I did not.
Okay,
I didn't do skating rinks. When they would come to me and said, "Hey, you want to do the wet T-shirt contest at Mako's, or you want to do Astro skate?" I go, "Give Hawk and Marty Astro skate, and I'll take the topless wet T-shirt contest."
Perfect.
Exactly. They're dealing with kids, and I'm dealing with sluts.
Nice.
That's how we rolled.
Right.
So anyway, Joe. What do you need to tell me, buddy?
Man. So, I mean, I heard the show, and, you know, man, I got to step in for my dad, man. He had me at 16 years old, and he made this business and this property, and we called it Compound. And, you know, my dad worked real hard on it, so did I. For a long time, we've been business partners. And
well, usually,
you know,
Joe,
hold
on, Joe. Usually, compounds aren't usually good things. You know, like David Koresh had a compound, and the guy that made him drink all the Kool-Aid, Jim Jones, he had a compound.
Yeah, compound implies you're going to get raided by the FBI.
Yeah, compounds aren't good. You know, I mean.
Well, that's what my dad called it. You know what I mean? But I got to give it to him, man. He turned something into nothing. Or, you know, something into nothing, and
well, Joe, now, Joe, can I just stop all this? I might be able to make this a lot more quicker and efficient of a segment if you let me speak. And that is, so after you came down here and gave us your paperwork and all that kind of stuff, the Merch Crick and Lummy got it to a couple different people that are familiar in this particular space. And we had two different people verify that there was no wrongdoing at all, and that, you know, your dad, you know, quick deeded or rightfully gave these properties to these people that now own them, and they obtained them legally, and that your dad may not have been of sound mind when he did it, but it was legal in the process of how it went down. Yeah. Lummy, is that kind of how you feel?
And it looks like he sold some of them for quick cash.
If I could just state some facts, you know, we can just jump right to it, man, but if you just let me kind of get off a few things off my chest.
Well, Joe, I don't know that I have the time for that, my friend. This is a very fast-paced show.
Property law is my favorite topic.
All right, go ahead, Joe. What do you want to say?
All right, thank you. All right, so on the documents, if you can see the documents, there's a lady named Clara Altman that signed these papers on the 16th of October and on 12/21 of December. Okay, so this lady died October 4th of 2020. So how she signed these papers is beyond me because she had been dead for 2 weeks.
So Bubba, then if there's fraud, that's a whole nother topic. And so I would absolutely. Here's what you need to do, kid. Here's what you need to do. Stop.
Joe, listen. We're the only show that will listen to your dumbass anyway. So shut up for a second.
You need to go straight to a real estate attorney and have them look at it, dude. Okay, listen. Go to a real estate attorney.
I'm done with him.
Give him the contracts and have him look at it.
If he won't listen to you, he's like, whoa, settle down. Screw you, Joe, you crazy son of a bitch. Get the hell off me. I'm not, this is not, hey, it's Bubba the Love Sponge show. Call me up with all your contractual, my dad died and left it to a shady-ass stepmom calls. No.
Yeah, he needs a real estate attorney and stop bothering us with that.
Yeah, stop
property
bugging
law.
me.
Boring.
And when I tell you to chill out, whoa, I don't have the right. I don't have to talk to you. Let me, God damn it, for not putting the phone lines on hold today.
Yeah.
God.
Got him back.
Hello. After this one, Lummy, straight to the hold button. Hi, who's this?
It's Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Dave from West Palm.
Yes, which usually has some pretty good stuff. Yes. I hope you don't irritate me like this other guy did, Joe.
No, I'm not going to irritate you at
Dave,
all.
Dave.
Two quick things, and I'll hang up and I'll listen because I got to get back to work. One thing I wanted to find out your opinion on the whole UFC Bud Light partnership. Didn't know your opinion about that one. And the second one, this probably coalesces with Dan. Did you hear about the guy that attacked that woman jogger in Tampa? Did you hear the latest story about how did you hear about him?
Well, no, I know that our friend and really close with Jay, fellow attorney, is the guy that thwarted it. Now,
he was back in the news.
His family has been looking for him for like 15 years.
The bad guy?
He was a missing dude for like 15 years. He was a real
from Canada.
Guy
Yeah, he worked in real estate. He was from Canada.
Yeah, but
freaking Canadians.
That doesn't validate or condone what he did.
No.
He calls himself the devil. He changed his name to Beelzebub something.
Good. Then he can be in prison and be in Chad Conister's Bed Bath and Way Beyond for a long time.
Great. I didn't know if you heard about the latest on him. That's all.
No. And that is the epitome of mental disease. Yep. And we don't treat it properly. Instead of putting them into a place where they can get treatment and be safe and keep the population safe, we release them into the public, ignore them, let them go into the cracks of society and become homeless and become dangerous and become a burden on society. It's a shame because our policy, our national policy towards mental illness is wrong right now. And we should really control the border from Canada. These damn Canadians coming in here, ruining our lives and our society is getting beyond reproach.
I sent you the article if you
What was what was your first question you wanted me to comment on?
The Bud Light with UFC.
Oh, yeah, I have. I mean, I'll give you. Did you send me an article about that, Lummy?
Oh, I sent it about the jogger guy. The homeless guy.
I could care less about that guy.
Okay.
I'll give you my opinion about the UFC doing business with Bud Light. Who cares? Who cares? If Bud Light gives UFC, I heard it was $110 million. Is that what it was?
They've been one of the biggest sponsors the UFC has had for almost 20 years.
So here's the deal. If Bud Light feels we need to get back to our roots, which are guys that watch UFC, and it's going to cost, and UFC is like, yeah, you know what? Knowing that they're hurting a little bit. We know that you used to give us $50 million, but that's now you give them just some stupid number to see if they'll go for it, right? How about $110 million for us to? You're like,
okay,
yeah, okay, fine. We're with Bud Light, and maybe Bud Light can turn around some of that persona and some of that, damage that the Mojave bitch did. Yeah, and maybe they can, and maybe a guy will be watching UFC, and be like, I was mad at UFC, but I'm not mad at them anymore. I mean, they got a pretty damn good beer. I'll try them right now. I mean, they're supporting this here fight and everything. So, I think it's brilliant on
way to salvage the brand.
Yeah, it's
most manly sport ever.
Right. Exactly.
I sent you when Dana White announced it on Hannity. like 2 weeks ago.
Bubba, I think I understand the backlash towards Bud Light, but Bud Light's been a staple for 50 years, 40 years at least. In our society,
and they made a huge mistake.
And so they made a mistake. I don't think they should be condemned to death for that small of a mistake.
They shouldn't be Bubba Clemmed. Should they?
I don't think so. And I think that,
like
trying
regular
to
radio,
redirect their funds towards the image they want to portray makes perfect sense, and I support it. And by the way, I mean, it's so hard to avoid Bud Light. It's like trying to avoid Diet Coke. It's impossible.
Right. I mean, and listen, prior to them messing up with the Dylan Mulholland, whatever the hell, I mean, they had probably a pretty damn loyal base, and they were synonymous with a good competitive light beer. It was them and Miller Lite, right? For the I guess Mick Ultra, some things like that.
No, but those are the two big ones.
But yeah, and they made a mistake. Is this Hannity making the announcement?
Well, he has Dana White on. Martial arts. It's a passion of mine. There's no more elite venue for mixed martial arts in the world than the UFC, and of course, its iconic Octagon. And
I mean, UFC and mixed martial arts is the equivalent to the NFL in football, as far as the slick, polished, highest sanctioning body in the sport, right?
Yeah. Yes. Must-watch events. But tonight, breaking news from outside the arena, where UFC President Dana White, he just announced that Bud Light, yes, the Bud Light, will become the official beer partner of the league. Now, after veering off course, which I thought was stupid, into the, woke cultural wars in the country, is this a strong message from Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light that we've heard you loud and clear and we're getting back on track? Anyway, here with more on all of this brand new partnership is UFC President, CEO Dana White is with us.
Looks good.
Dana looks great, and Dana's a great businessman, and Dana knew that InBev / Bud Light was on the ropes, so to speak. And Dan, what might have cost 15, 20 million, 5 years ago, I'm going to jack you. I'm going to give you this number that I know you got to pay, and I'm doing what's best for my brand, right?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I had you on my radio show today. Been on radio 30-plus years. Been here.
Me too.
I'm in my 28th year at Fox. And, what's interesting to me is I've
been doing radio as long as Sean Hannity. Wow.
To call for boycotts, firings, cancellations, any of this stuff. I'm against all of it. I thought it was stupid of Budweiser or Bud Light to get into that controversy. Just dumb. And I have no idea why they waded into those waters. But my fear from the beginning was not the person that made the dumb decision or the people that made the dumb decision. When I saw this taking hold, I was concerned about the people that work for Bud Light. Those are high-paying career jobs. And I said that publicly. And I'm hoping, everybody knows who you are, Dana. No holds barred, kick ass, take no prisoners. I don't give an Adam Schiff or in anybody's face. So they purposely went with you. Tell us about it.
Well, they probably went with Dana because he is exactly how you just mentioned he is.
Yep.
You described him. He doesn't care. He, out of all, he's got more balls than Roger Goodell. He's got more balls than who's the really Ichabod Crane looking guy? Adam Silver. Adam Silver for the NBA.
Yep.
You got more balls for who's the commissioner of Major League Baseball? Yeah, him. Exactly. He's so insignificant you don't even know who it is.
Rob Manfred.
There you go, Rob Manfred. Yep. And Dana White is the head of the sanctioning body UFC, who got some balls, got a backbone, is transparent, and says it like it is, doesn't care.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me start with, they were the first beer company that we really did business with. They're our first real big sponsor when we were getting started, and now we're back with them. And going into this deal, I know all the controversy and everything else, but for myself, going into a long-term deal with another sponsor, I want to be with somebody that I'm actually aligned with. And I know people were upset with what they did, but I'm looking at all the good things that they do. I
need to meet with regular radio, Dan, and say, listen, you know what? I had my Bud Light moment, but it doesn't forever typecast me for the rest of my career. Look at all the good things I did prior to my Bud Light moment. Now, give me another shot, right?
Yeah, why not?
I didn't do something I didn't touch a kid. I didn't rape a woman. I didn't do something. I mean, God, there was a guy from New York, what was it, Craig Carlton or something like that went to federal prison for stealing people for a gambling addiction and stealing people's money. And he went to prison. And the minute he got out of prison, after 18 months of federal prison, he did mornings with Boomer Esiason.
Yeah.
They hired him to do afternoon drive on his same radio station after 18 months of federal prison. Now, I just did something stupid with regards to a sex tape, and I've been completely blackballed.
Employ 65,000 Americans. They have thousands of vets that work for them. They spend $700 million a year with U.S. farmers using their crops to make their products, and many, many other great things that Anheuser-Busch has done in this country. And those are the things that I'm focused on. When I look at a long-term sponsor that's going to be, we're going to do a 6-year deal here. I want to be with somebody that I'm aligned with. All those things that I just mentioned to you are what I'm all about. And not to mention, they have this thing called Folds of Honor. I'm very big into law enforcement and military. And over the last,
me too.
I don't know how many years, they've spent like $45 million taking care of, these servicemen and first responders who have died, taking care of their families, scholarships for their kids and things like that. So I am very aligned with Anheuser-Busch.
All right, so let me be clear about a few things.
Perfect.
Couldn't say it any better than that.
They screwed up. They aligned themselves. Somebody made a horrible call to align themselves with this transitioning man that's transitioning into a woman that the person has every right to do. I mean, I have nothing against that at all, but I could see where your hardcore P1 Bud Light drinkers could. They're like, screw this, man. We don't want that. We don't want this person being our spokesperson. And they let their voice be known. And what did Budweiser lose? Like
$27 billion I saw in one ad.
I haven't had a Bud Light since, and I probably will now.
Right.
I literally have rejected them on a plane before where they bring me a light beer, and I said, no, thank you. And our box used to have Bud Light stacked in the fridge, and I went to a country concert a while back with my wife, the Chris Aldean concert. What the heck was it? The
Jason Aldean?
The one who sang Fast Car. That's how much I paid.
Tracy Chapman?
Yeah, Combs.
Yeah, Tracy Chapman.
Great. It was great.
Tracy Chapman concert.
I didn't go to the Tracy Chapman concert. But we went in our box first time after the whole Dylan Mulvaney, catastrophe. And I literally said to our girl, could you please take all of those out and replace it with Coors Light? I'm not going to drink a Bud Light at a country concert.
No way. You get your ass kicked.
After this, I may revisit it.
Well, now listen.
I think people went overboard. I mean, they were just trying to expand their market. It didn't mean they were going straight to the trans community and despising and defying everyone else.
As a parent, not as a conservative, there were 3 things that really affected my wife more than me. My wife will not walk into Target.
If she sees Dan,
she will not. She will not buy anything Disney.
If Candle sees Dan's Ferrari in the parking lot, she abandons her trip immediately.
She goes to Walmart.
Exactly. Dan's at Target. She's at Walmart.
No, but here's the thing: is that listen and brilliantly, Bud Light. So Bud Light Dan messes up bad. Okay, they mess up bad.
We can all agree on that.
The
worst PR thing in history.
Yes, one of.
It's got to be top 5.
Well, the Hogan sex tape's right up there.
I think the short guy that did Zima was the worst PR thing in history.
All right, whatever.
New Coke, maybe.
But so anyway, certainly one of the top 10 publicity f-ups
blunders,
of a product.
Absolutely.
So what do? Well, they've tried to get a handle on it just kind of organically through some commercials, and they have like this New Orleans commercial where real men are drinking Bud Light and all that kind of deal. Or do you align yourself with the most physically badass sport there is, and the president CEO is one of the badass guys, and you've been with this brand before? It's
brilliant.
It's as stupid as the Dylan Mulvaney deal is. How to start that upward trajectory path and to get Bud Light back into the good graces of America, this is absolutely what they needed to do.
Yeah, and Joe Rogan primed the pump about a month ago. He had Post Malone on. And Post Malone, has been a huge Budweiser fan, Bud Light. It's all he drinks. It's like he's sponsored by them. And so he pulled one out and he threw one to Joe, and Joe said, I don't give a heck. And he ripped it open and started drinking a Bud Light. It's the first time I saw anyone
that probably was the beginning
didn't
of it.
care
Right.
with those two guys a month ago.
Right.
And where's Joe Rogan
there were
affiliated
other
with? UFC?
beer companies that wanted to partner with you, correct? You certainly, I know you don't need the money because you have more money than anyone could ever want in probably 4,000 lifetimes.
put Modelo on the map.
So you didn't do it for the money. You didn't do it, you did it for the reasons stated, but you also knew, and it's already happening.
And Dan, you know that Dana had his Tom Beam with his Steve Diaco kicker, knowing that we have unbelievable negotiation power here, right?
Absolutely. But it's frustrating when Hannity answers the question he's asking.
Yeah, I know. I do it too.
On social media, that you'd be attacked.
And you do it too, so get used to it.
You'd be accused of selling out. I want you to respond to those people.
Well, let's be clear. When you do sponsorships, you definitely do sponsorships for the money, too. Money is definitely a part of it.
Yeah, when Modelo came in with $52 million and Bud Light came in with $110, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know what you're going to go with here.
Exactly. But money was not the decision-making. There wasn't the reason that I made the decision. All the things that I just told you are why. I mean, there's more to being aligned with a sponsor, a major sponsor like that.
And then, Jay, here's the thing. 6 years. So in 6 years, Bud Light now has turned this thing around. They're back into good graces. Their sales are up. Boom. You don't think that renewal is huge? I mean, right? I mean, Dana White can pretty much say, hey, guys, we're the ones that pretty much turned your brand around into being an absolute loss leader, dead in the water, to now you guys are profitable back where you used to be. That's on us.
You're absolutely right. And I bet you he's so smart of a negotiator that he put like in an athletic contract, some sort of a watermark. If at the end of 6 years we're here, we'll get the deal for an additional however many years for this price, a low price.
Like almost an option that UFC can pick up.
Yes.
Yes.
For as long as I'm going to be, there are many other things that are important to me other than just the money. And the people that were all involved in this negotiation on
what's Dana? Hey Alexa, how much is Dana White worth?
500.
Good on it. Sorry.
Hello?
We interrupted.
Oh, we did. Yes, the question.
Hey Alexa, how much is Dana White worth?
Dana White is worth an estimated $500 million US dollars.
Nailed
His annual base salary is $20 million US dollars.
Nailed it.
Worth a $500 million. 500 mil.
Did we talk about Jennifer Aniston, what she's worth last week?
Yeah,
320 or something.
320.
Yeah, 330.
You wouldn't even be able to deal with your own brother if he was worth that much.
No. He could have been Chandler. Every one of them was worth 120.
Yep.
They could have been Schwimmer.
Absolutely positively know that
Dan's going to end up Matthew Perry if he doesn't settle down a little bit.
Good thing he's just addicted to himself and not drugs.
Yeah, Dan's not addicted to drugs. He's addicted to himself.
Just mirrors.
Yeah, I know that. One of the things that I would say is, when you factor in what you said about their support of the military, when you factor in that they support U.S. farmers, when you factor in, for me, the most important things, I knew it, and it did happen. I knew great people that work for Budweiser. Once the beer sales slipped dramatically.
And Sean.
Boom.
He just repeats it.
I know.
Tom Brady is going to have a say-so. The Raiders were so brilliant in getting him to come on board. Yeah. I don't know what capacity that they originally signed Tom Brady under, but I know that he works for the Raiders, and he has didn't they insinuate that he might have a little bit of ownership role?
Yeah, they say he recently purchased an ownership stake in the Raiders, and that he's going to be on the advisor board.
And you guys as luxury suite owners, you guys as kin to the man that was the longest tenured NFL doctor in the history of the league, the great Joseph Diaco. You guys got strong ties to the Bucs. And the Bucks, what a bunch of wedges. They could have very well have offered Tom Brady this very same
No
deal.
doubt.
And Tom Brady been the face. And by the way, right now the Bucks need Tom Brady as a face of their franchise.
Yeah, but they should. Arguably, what you could say is they should just replace Jason Licht with Tom Brady
Not
and have
Jason
him be
Licht,
Licht.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
with
put him
Tom
in the
Brady
G-
because
no,
I
you
don't
don't put him in the GM spot.
He's living in Miami.
Yeah.
Let him do the same thing here that Bubba says he's doing in Oakland. Or isn't that where it is? Raiders? Excuse me, Vegas.
Yeah. Vegas. Yeah.
Oh.
So Vegas is fun, but his kids live in Miami. This is such a natural fit to do it in Miami, Jacksonville, or Florida. All three of those teams failed.
Dolphins
miserably.
should have done it.
Well, Dolphins tried to.
They did.
The owners blocked it. Yeah.
It's not the Oakland Raiders anymore?
There was a lot of
Yeah,
controversy.
but if on Tom Brady's last year here, they came to him and said, "Hey, listen, we're going to give you 5 or 10% of the team.
Yes,
you're going to be an ambassador to the team. You're going to be here for spring, for fall, for training camp." It's not unlike for you to be roaming the sidelines. We're gonna have your own box as a partner in the team. And I'll tell you what Tom Brady does is if Tom Brady has ownership in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the next home game still sells out.
Absolutely.
Right now, the next home game will not sell out.
No, there's gonna be a lot of open seats.
Tom is there with a headset on or up in a box and, a Taylor Swift type, photo moment. If Tom Brady is partial owner of the Buccaneers, nobody gives a crap about the Glazers, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully.
Glazers are wonderful people, but they're not the celebrity that Tom Brady is.
Exactly. I'm not saying that in a bad way.
Right,
the Glazers came to town, and they brought us two championships.
Yep.
You can't, boom. Drop the mic. That being said, they certainly have enough money, enough generational wealth that giving Tom Brady 5 or 10% of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in order so that he is an ambassador to the Bucs, and maybe eventually Dan, not now, but eventually maybe becoming a general manager, much like John Lynch did.
Mm-hmm.
It's not uncommon for former players to be general managers.
Mm-hmm. He certainly got the knowledge.
But he doesn't want that. He has his Fox deal that starts next year, 10 years, $375 million.
Right.
Still.
Well, you can't be a GM, I'm saying, but you could be an owner.
You could be a PR guy.
Hold on. You could be
minority owner.
You can be what he is to the Raiders. He could be what he is to the Raiders for the Bucks.
What do you call that?
He bought into
brand
that.
ambassador.
They didn't just give it to him. I think he bought into it.
I think he bought into it.
Yeah, that wasn't a gift. I think it was a purchase.
But Danny, here's why you go to the Bucks. The Bucks say, "Hey, listen, what the Raiders are trying to charge you $15 million for, we'll give you for nothing.
Right.
We just want you. We'll give you 10 points, 5 points, 3 points, 2 points of the team, and you are forever going to be a Buck. Forever. Boom.
Man, that's killer.
But, of course, we didn't, and now the Raiders have him, and the Raiders have already announced that Tom Brady will have a say-so in their general manager / coaching slot, as they fired both of them last week.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go into words. We'll get into, God, the Bucks. At least my team won, Lummy.
I know.
And I'm not going to sit here and get all go, Pack, go, because they beat the Rams with the Rams' third-string quarterback.
Yeah, no Matt Stafford.
So, be like, how rugged am I really going to feel? Please.
At home, too.
The Packers play the Steelers at Pittsburgh next, loss. Then I think they play, the Chiefs, loss.
Mm-hmm.
And then they play the Lions at for Thanksgiving.
It's at Steelers and then home against the Chargers and then at the Lions for the Thanksgiving game.
They at the best case scenario they're going to win one of those.
2-1.
They might beat the Chargers.
Yeah, so they should be 1-2.
So that puts them at what? They're 3-5 now. What's that put them? 4-6.
4-7.
4-6. Yeah, about as ass buckety as the Chiefs. About as ass buckety as the Bucks. The Bucks score. They look like $1 million. Baker Mayfield does what he needs to do. Scores. They're up by 4 with 49 seconds left.
But there's more to this than that. There was a clock management mistake They had, when they were trying to figure out when that sort of reception that kind of got fumbled turned into a
Evans,
into Evans, and it looked like he landed on like the 6-yard line.
They put 10 seconds back on.
They put 10 seconds back on, and they charged us a timeout. We should have let that time go.
Todd Bowles elected to take the timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff,
right,
which again speaks to the coach time management issues.
Right, you let the time run, and then you take the timeout when you need it.
Dan, settle down. Right. You're becoming unhinged and impossible to work with. Thank you. That's what your brother just said.
All that plant protein is kicking in.
Jay just told me to settle down. Dan, I'm down immediately. No problem, Jay. So, Dan, chill out. So you're right, Dan. Like, what in the hell is Bowles thinking?
Well, you don't know you're going to score.
Yes, you do. Okay, so you go down from 39 to 49. What does that matter? You're on the 6. You're on the 6. You got three passing plays all day. As long you got 4 passing day.
All day.
You got first. Where was it on the 8? Where was the ball at?
So they kept moving it around, somewhere between like the 7 and the 11.
5, and then they placed it at like the 11.
Yeah.
You got 4 plays to knock it in. You're all going to be pass plays, and so that if the ball's caught, before the goal line, you're going to go up there and spike it. You're gonna get it in. You're gonna get it in. You don't add time to the clock to only give them more time to score.
Right. It was foolish.
I think what's unfortunate is that any other week of the year, if there were 45 seconds left on the clock and the Bucs defense had to win the game, I trusted them. But yesterday everybody sucked. Yesterday was the worst performance of the year.
Well,
and the offense finally showed signs of life, and the defense played like crap.
C.J. Stroud look like the greatest rookie quarterback in the history of the league.
Yeah, he was that day.
He's got the stats.
He was that day.
I mean,
Bubba.
they have a habit of doing that to guys. They did it to Mitch Trubisky back in 2018, I think. He threw 500 yards.
We're gonna break down a little bit. I'm not gonna break down the Packers game. The Packers played. I'm not.
I mean, Aaron Jones scored. I mean, that's a big.
Well, listen, they got Aaron Jones back.
Yeah.
So they got a little bit of a chance, but they're just. I just can't wait for them when the Bucs travel to Green Bay, the Battle of the Ass Buckets. I literally can't even wrap my head around.
The Battle of the Bays, like it used to be.
Yeah, but it's going to be the Battle of the Bay of Pigs. I don't know. I mean,
deliciously disgusting.
You're absolutely right.
This is the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I don't even know who fucking wins that game. They both suck so bad.
Maybe we'll just end up in a fucking tie.
0-0 tie.
Yeah.
Under 35 degrees, we'll lose.
It'll be a bunch of field goals.
Oh, it's going to be under 35. I promise you that.
We've never won a game under 35 without Tom Brady.
I think you have.
Without Tom Brady. I think we won one without him, ever.
We
beat Philadelphia in the playoffs.
I think you guys beat. Yeah, you beat.
One or two.
No, you actually beat Philly in the playoffs.
Yeah.
With John Juravicius. Remember John Juravicius?
Joe Juravicius, yeah.
Yeah.
1 or 2 ever. That's so bad. Our 2-minute, offense defense is so bad this year.
Yeah, they had a hiccup.
Hi, Jay. I don't know if I said it.
Good morning.
The ass back and bowl, pass versus Bears, huh? Maybe they go with the Bucs. This article I saw in College Nation said it was.
How's your weekend, Bubba?
Good. It was really good.
Uneventful one for a change. I like.
No,
that.
we had the Alex.
Oh, how was that?
It was eventful. It was eventful.
I heard you have some footage of it.
Yeah, I got kicked out.
You guys? Oh, you did?
Yeah. Kicked out.
Thank you, Dr. Grant.
You're welcome. Oh, can I read this?
You do.
They're saying to people, building data centers, goods, things, keep your pricing here. And
No, it says that's not changing. Read the
Oh, for that 20
sentence.
yeah.
And I already signed the contract, so they can't change it all.
How about?
I did the DocuSign already.
Can you believe it? Like, remember where it was?
That's bullshit, by the way. That change like that from 50 to 100 is bullshit. That's bullshit. You know that's bullshit. These guys were anticipating that and they're changing it the last second. It's bullshit. With 45 days notice, bullshit. Doubling it, horseshit. You know it is.
Why are you getting heat with Jay?
I'm not getting heat with
I
Jay.
didn't make a point.
He agrees with me.
I just what's that? Go shoot the messenger? Whoa.
No.
Man, stop being so stiff to fucking Jay.
I'm
I'm glad you don't know if that me.
You're pointing at me like I'm little Frankie.
I'm just saying.
I didn't realize
I
I didn't
was
interrupt your
pointing
speech,
at your
coach.
phone. I was pointing at
Like
that.
a little Frankie saying.
Interrupt your speech, Coach Dan. Coach Dr. Dan. Did they have to say Dr.?
I wonder if the kids have to say Coach Dr.
Did they
Dan.
say Dr. Dan Esquire?
They just say coach.
Okay.
Coach fucking hair trigger.
They're all probably like, whatever you do, don't look at him and just make sure little Danny takes all the heat.
Yeah.
Little Danny takes it hard.
Dude, I got 2 Gronkowskis coming this season. I got
Danny's
double Gronk.
recruiting in the off season like he's,
IMG.
Yeah, he's not IMG. IMD.
Yeah. He's IMD.
Yeah.
I am Dan.
Moneyball.
IMD.
It's Moneyball. IMD.
IMD. Which is why Rob needs to get his thing done too before the first year, so he doesn't get somehow suckered into that.
Oh, he can't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I took care of it already.
You sure?
Positive. You read that.
I understand that. They're not going to try to double that to him.
You can't.
No, but do the 5 plus 5. 5 for you, 5 for him. Makameko, 5.
Yeah, but it's 225 each.
Okay. That's you've established that, clarified that?
Yes, even with him.
Okay. Just don't want there to be a surprise for anybody.
No.
Just trying to avoid a potential excuse.
He's so funny, man. Every time I end up at like Union or Boulogne or anything, he's there. Single Rob. At the bar. Having fun.
Is he a fun guy?
Lummy, can you
Rob
send me
Owen's
the
a great guy.
Can you send me the winning drive, Houston's winning drive?
Yeah, it takes about 4 seconds.
Yes.
It's 3 plays, right?
Send it to you in my video, Bubba. On Messenger.
Nowhere near the rare air at the top of the heap.
I mean, we know what's important.
More like the bottom feeders existing on the scraps of society.
What's they babbling about? Bubba the Love Sponge.
We gotta clear a couple dates with Jay to see if he can attend. So Jay, we got on we have on here we go. On Tuesday, December 19th, from 8 to 10, the annual show White Elephant Christmas Party.
I'm in.
And then on Friday, the 22nd, from 8 to 10, we're going to have the Bubba Roast. and Dan is the roast master. He's the host, and it's roast me.
Okay.
And I'd like.
How do you feel about that?
I listened to what you guys said today, and I think it's going to be a matter of how you do it. And I think that if you take a good shot at everyone else in the audience, and we all watch some roasts, and you see how it's done, and if Bubba has an open mind to it, it's going to be fun. I think it'll be pretty interesting.
But that is an if.
No, but I think I'm the best at rolling with. If the whole thing's based on me, getting roasted, so that's the body of work that we're doing.
Right, you're prepped for it in your mind.
Right. The basic foundations, it's all about him, so it should be fine.
Sure.
That was my first roast joke. I think it'll be good. I think everyone needs to actually prepare for it. I don't think you can wing it. I don't think you can wing it.
You cannot wing it. That's why I'm giving you a month and a half to prepare.
So what's the date for that one? Because I just put in the Bubba Christmas party.
Friday the 22nd, 8 till 10.
Friday the 22nd.
And
I am in.
Perfect.
At what time?
At 8 o'clock.
Got it.
And Dan is the roast master.
Nice.
So there are some dates. Jay, hopefully, and listen, I will tell you, if you're going to roast, if you're going to participate, you need to prepare, because if you think you can just walk up there with a few things that you wrote earlier to that day, you're going to fall flat on your face. And you know what? You're going to look dumber than me.
And you're fired.
And
your last day on air.
And it's your last day on air. So, Lummy, the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where is this? Where was the plays before this?
There was one play before. ESPN must have cut it out.
Okay. So the Bucks kick off, right?
Yes.
And there's how many? See, I wish I could get it from kickoff.
45 seconds.
Because I got it now down to 16 seconds, 2nd and 10. There was a little bit that happened before this. They certainly didn't get the ball on the Bucks 41. That's what this is showing, right?
Yes, it is. I just sent you another one. This one's from the NFL. This is on their first down at the, was it the 45?
Now, let me see here. So, all right, this is 31 seconds. All right, so this is probably.
So they kick the ball into the Bucks after they score, kick the ball into the end zone.
Right.
The Houston gets it
on the 25.
The 25.
Right.
And they immediately do like a 15, 18-yard play. It was, a huge play. Then they get a first down. Then they do a 6-yard play, and then here we are.
All right. Boom. And I don't think they have any timeouts, do they?
Nope.
They have no timeouts.
No.
So they get the ball on the 25. Their first play is like a 15, 17-yarder, real good play.
They had 46 seconds left.
Okay. So 15 seconds from we've burned off 15 seconds in 2 plays, right, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
And we've gone from the 25 down to the 45.
Right.
Okay?
They got the ball at the 10. They had to go 90 yards.
Oh, they got the ball at the 10?
Yeah, makes it even worse, doesn't it?
I just sent you pretty much almost the full game if you go to 5:51.
Because I want to see.
Sucks.
I want to really see the choke.
And lost to Dallas in the wild card. Of course, they had a different
NFL YouTube channel highlights. For some reason, they didn't put the game-winning touchdown in here.
What?
Yeah, this is a $1 billion entity. And in this highlight reel, they left out the game-winning touchdown at the end. You'll see when you get there.
So now I got to tell you, man, if you're the Lummy, the Packer game was already in hand.
Yeah.
So I flipped over to the CBS deal to watch this, right?
Yeah.
Because I saw the Bucs score, so I went over to the Packer game. I think they were over. I think the Pack might have been over.
They say it was the most exciting game of the weekend.
Yeah, if you're a Houston fan.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my God. The Bucs are up, so a field goal does nothing for Houston. They have no timeouts, and the Bucs 46. I'm like, we're good. We're good.
We should be.
I mean, right? Now, hold on. You just got to keep them out of the info. They not even a really, really long ass field. Which, by the way, they don't even have their field goal kicker. Their field goal they got a third string running back that can get it about 35 yards max. So, they didn't even
exactly. They need a touchdown.
Right. So not even like it being field goal worthy, like if they're down by 2 or down by 3, that puts a whole different parameter because you really only got to get to about where the ball is right now being kicked off. If you can get the ball to the 35, most NFL guys got at least a 50-50 shot on a 50-yarder.
Yep.
Dan, are you out of here?
Yeah, I got a few more minutes. I want to watch this.
I'm watching the old feed, and it shows you walking around.
No.
I don't know.
Refresh Jones.
I'm refreshing. Here we go. So Bucks kick the ball off. Okay, here we go.
Camarda.
46 seconds left. No time. And by the way, Houston has no timeouts.
Nope.
That's been very good.
And hold on. No timeouts. I would have bet
every defense sucks.
Hold on. I would have bet. Dan, you probably would have bet damn near anything you owned if I said Dan.
Of course you would have.
46 seconds. They have no timeouts, and they got to score a touchdown.
Yeah, we're partying.
I'm like, nah, Houston's going to do it. The Bucks are going to choke. I could smell it.
Just like the championship.
Don't want to return. You kind of do want to return because it eats some clock off, but they're...
So you just take it here, but isn't this an
And now, Lummy, at this point, they don't even have to do a 2-point conversion.
No,
they just do a kneel down Jones.
Exactly.
down?
It is.
So you just take it and
All right,
get out.
there we go.
What does flag down mean?
Flag down? I mean, there's a penalty.
Oh.
Let me tell you about a play that happened this Friday, Lummy, at the Warsaw High School sectional against Penn, at Penn, and there's a 35-mile-an-hour wind.
Oh.
So wait till, and I'm listening to it on 1480 Warsaw News Now on a TuneIn app. Lummy, that's on Friday night. That's what I'm doing. Watching the Vince Lombardi story on YouTube, crying like a little bitch because Vince died. If Vince just would have got his colon checked, he'd probably be, would have made it another 15, 20 years.
Yeah,
but
probably.
Vince didn't want any doctor to stick his finger. And back then, Dan, I think like in 66, 67, 68, for a man to get his colon checked, I think there was only the finger, wasn't it?
They had what they called the rigid anoscope.
Huh.
And what was that?
It was literally a tube that you put your eye up to look inside the last.
You mean
maybe
like almost
8 inches of the?
It wasn't flexible.
Colon.
So
no, it wasn't flexible.
Rigid.
It was rigid.
So you just put your eye in there like you're looking at a ship?
It was like
The
a
party for
sex
Lummy on
toy
the
with a
weekend.
hole at the end. I mean, and you would just like put your eye in there and look. There's like a little glass piece.
It's a glass.
They would swivel open and close.
Tell us for your butthole.
So like in the late 60s, the doctor would probably first digitally examine it, correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And if it was inflamed or didn't feel correct, felt hard or something like that.
But it was longer than the finger. It was about 6 to 10 inches long, and you would literally put your eye. You know how like jewelers look at a diamond? They put their face right up in that thing.
Right.
We were doing that, dude. Thank God cameras
anal
were
loop.
invented.
So you had to stick a rigid tube up a guy's butt, and then you had to literally look like you're looking at a diamond.
Yep.
Right. You tried to grade a diamond out, right?
Right.
So
it was a little awkward.
Vince, in his latter years of Green Bay, just didn't look right and didn't feel right. And they're like, Doc, Vince, you need to go get your prostate. And he's like, I'm not having any man stick his finger up my butt. And then he went to Washington and took a lick. So I'm listening to that. I'm watching that, and Lummy, I'm listening to the Warsaw versus Penn Kingsman sectional championship game. Okay. Warsaw's 9-1, and Penn is 9-1, and they're at Penn. And I've never heard of this play ever in the history of me being a football enthusiast, being a football player, being a football coach, being a football, I watch football on every level. I've never heard of this. So the Penn Kingsmen, Lummy, they're on like the 30 of Warsaw. Okay?
Yep.
Well, it's fourth down, and they cannot, the wind's like 27 miles an hour right into their face. Okay? And it's like 4th and 10. So you can't throw, you can't kick a field goal because high school kickers are,
Yeah.
like they're not
30-yard maybe without wind.
Although Warsaw had a guy hit a 47-yarder on Friday, but so they go to punt. Okay? So they punt, but the ball goes straight up in the air and comes back past the line of scrimmage.
What do you mean by past the line of
backward
scrimmage?
punt.
Yeah, so he punts it way high up in the air, but the wind catches it, and the ball lands behind the line of scrimmage. Well, I got to be honest with you. Even me and all my football savvy and thinking that I know all the rules, I don't know.
Is that a free ball?
It's a live ball.
So hold on. It is a live ball.
Yeah. Yes.
It is a live ball. So Warsaw doesn't know. So like a pin kingsman, like the center or the guard or somebody just happens to pick the ball up because everybody thinks it's a dead ball, right? He picks it up and runs it into the end zone for a touchdown. I have never in my life heard. Have you, Lummy? Have you ever heard of that?
I've never heard of that. No.
Where a guy punts a ball. Now, Dan, had the ball gone past or landed past? See, the ball actually did go past the line of scrimmage, but it blew back.
I mean, I know the ball's live, but I didn't. I've never heard him picking up when it comes back and then running for a touchdown.
But here's the deal, Lummy. It's if the ball lands behind the line of scrimmage, then it's a live ball. If the ball lands, 1 inch in front of where it was hiked, then it's a dead ball. If it goes past the line of scrimmage. But if the ball doesn't go past the line of scrimmage, then it's a live ball. The announcers, they're like some 1480 Warsaw now. It's the Warsaw Tigers taking on the Kingsman here. And, oh, my Lord, so the guy punts the ball. It looks like the air's taking it back where it might be. It went across the line of scrimmage, but before it hit the ground, it looks like it was 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It looks like the guard for the Penn Kingsman's picking the ball up now and just kind of, haphazardly running to the. They're calling it a touchdown. They're calling it a touchdown. How can that be a touchdown? And Lummy, it was a touchdown.
It's nuts.
I don't even know. Lummy, could you even Google it?
So I'm trying to look at it now.
If it goes past the line of scrimmage, the only people that can advance it is the soon-to-be offense, the defense,
the receiving team,
and if the receiving team. And if it's behind the line of scrimmage, it's like you're saying, it's a live ball for anyone.
For anybody,
just like if you kick a ball for a field goal, doesn't make it to the end, doesn't make it to the goalpost or out of the end zone, it's still a live ball.
Yeah, because if you get a punt blocked or they could pick it up, things like that.
But Lummy, I've seen a punt block and I've seen that kind of deal, but I've never seen where the wind took it, and I guess he kicked it pretty good.
The wind blocked the punt,
and he got it up high, and the announcers are saying initially it looked like it was about 7 to 9 yards past the line of scrimmage, and this big wind gust came and blew it back behind the line of scrimmage, and nobody knew what to do with it. If a Warsaw guy just would have grabbed it, and ran it the other way,
or even just fell on
touchdown.
it,
yeah. So. Yeah, that was my.
It's crazy.
That was my big Friday night.
So their offensive guard scored the winning touchdown?
Yes.
So do you, Bubba, as a coach, teach your players, if you ever see a dead ball, grab it and run for the end zone?
You hear a whistle.
Always until you hear a whistle?
Even if you hear a whistle, just pick it up.
Yeah, pick it up.
And complete to the end zone, because if you stop, you may.
Not because they'll usually start blowing the whistle even harder as you run into the end zone. But at least start making your way that way.
Get possession.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
Okay.
And Dan, you can use that now as an example to these kids. One time a guy kicked a football for a punt, and it didn't go past the line of scrimmage. The wind blew. I mean, this is some Wizard of Oz stuff. The wind blew it for real. Like, and in the, I don't know, the 50 years that I've been a football enthusiast, Dan, have you ever heard of such a thing?
No, but someone in chat said Seattle had a double punt a couple years ago. Did the guy punt it and it blew back to him and he punted it again?
I don't know. Will you look up?
Is there such
will
a
you
thing?
look up the Seattle double punt?
Yes. Okay. You could.
Find a safe place and stay there. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse asked him for advice.
Oh, God.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
I'm trying to see if there was video on the Warsaw game.
No, there wasn't.
No.
What an incredible play that would have been to see. Love stuff like that. All right, guys, have a wonderful day.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Tell Jenna I said
Bye,
hi.
double.
See you, Bubba.
Wait, I have a question about that play. The 6-second play.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end there was a penalty, so did it even count?
Yeah, it was a penalty against the defensive team.
Oh, against the Bucks?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, the Seattle got blocked, and then he picked it up and kicked it again. I sent it to you. Yeah, it's live always.
Always.
This game.
Let me. Did you send me something?
How was your
I sent you the double catch.
Relaxing. Didn't do much.
Good. Yeah.
Like a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I was supposed to have a recovery day yesterday, and I'm like, because the whole week was crazy. And so Sunday yesterday, I'm like, let me just go on a little bike ride. I went 2.5 hours.
Yeah, see if you can find one about
I
wind.
went to downtown Clearwater.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I was
All right.
looking at windows. I was peeping on all the fucking Scientology weirdos.
Oh, were you
They
really?
have all the fake storefronts.
Yeah.
So they put up all these. It's a ghost town. It's a beautiful day, and no one's around. Except for a few spots. Even at
Oh yeah, the courthouse is right down there.
Yeah.
And like during the week,
I was
you
riding
see
my bike around there.
a bunch of kids your age, both of people, bunch of people your age, full on wearing SeaWorld uniforms, like walking in line.
You never see a lot of them though. I noticed you'll see like one or a pair, but it's and there's thousands of them there, but you never really see them like in rows.
There's like Scientology. I wouldn't.
When the fan got close,
Yeah.
There's people out in front of your house to listen.
the security guard was trying to protect them.
Be
This is
reluctant.
the rest of history. As a match of the huge Hulk Hogan turned heel.
Where they fuck with people outside of
Where like
Scientology, or is it only
someone
people who are in
dies
and
and
then
then
they
the
leave?
person, yeah, and then the person will try to sue.
During a cruiserweight match, a fan burst the ring but was taken out by the referee. In another incident, Macho Man Randy Savage was in the process.
Do you think they've have they really whacked anybody?
I don't know that I've heard that much, but it's certainly
Like,
the
pull
kind
up
of pressure
shit.
that you're like.
I always thought that was just people who were in and leave. I didn't know that they fuck with people outside.
Well, there's been many cases of people trying to sue the church for sexual assault, civil neglect for like kids dying, refuse medical attention. They get civil lawsuits all the time. Whoever the lawyer is that represents the people suing.
I was thinking about this yesterday as I was going through the ghost town down in Clearwater. I'm like, there should be restaurants and bars. And it's just these fake storefronts where they'll just say like happiness, love, passion, or some shit. It doesn't mean anything. Where do you think they align politically? Are they more lefty or are they more? Because I didn't know. I was thinking about it. I was like, what do you Do they even believe in democracy? Like, are they just out of the game completely?
I don't know if they believe in capitalism.
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of like vulnerable people that George like
Well, initially it wasn't
lonely.
Well, like a drug addict.
Dynaco is all mine. She managed to claw her way back to a respectable
I was thinking about that.
A solid first showing, and one that could inspire a promising future, provided that she works on Martha, maybe run a few years in the trucks.
But it was creepy, dude. And I'm looking in, and then the front desk people are making eye contact with me, and they just give me this fake smile. I'm like, ooh.
Back in Daytona to run the day before the
Then I wanted to start asking questions to people walking on the street. But I'm like, maybe that's not the
I was like almost whispering something like.
For any other driver was none of which
There's not many people that want to fire.
But I was riding my bike all around the sound. Yeah, it really is nice.
None of which you can manage to finish higher than 19th. And compared to every other driver who made starts with Junior Motorsports, she had the worst average finish of 28. For any other driver running their first races in a stock car, let alone motherfucking NASCAR, this would be respectable. But you have to remember, we're talking about one of the most renowned racers in the country and maybe even the world, both in praise and
Supposedly it says they align to the Republican side.
Really?
That's a surprise.
Fish on J, 25.
Just to have the freedom to do what they want to do. I don't know.
Maybe.
Probably religious
Freedom
freedom.
of religion.
Broadcasting live
Filthy bastard!
from the den of sin. Just leave your morals at the door.
Yeah!
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Trey Bill. Trey Bill, let me 50 on the PayPal. Thank you.
Rich Andre, 25 on the Cash App.
Cash App, PayPal, Venmo at the Bubba Army. Thanks. I saw your double kick, your Seattle double kick. I still haven't been able to find anything on the internet with regards to kicking a punt that went up into the air and then fell behind the line of scrimmage and then taken in for a touchdown. I've not seen that.
I've not seen a video on it or anything.
Yeah, I've not seen it at all. Have you?
No, I have not seen anything on it. I have there's a tiny little you're allowed to pick it up and run with it, but other than that, I haven't seen any video showing that.
Donald Trump is now in New York, and this civil trial, this civil fraud trial. Has he taken the stand yet?
I think he's about to
today.
I think so.
And is he this is heavily skewed against him.
It's already been a determination that there was fraud. This is a damages trial, which is going to be reversed on appeal, in my opinion.
So they've already determined that there was fraud.
The judge did, yep.
Yeah, but isn't the...
Are you saying that's not fair?
I'm asking for a friend, but haven't they determined that the properties in question are worth as much as they said, and in some cases more than they said? Haven't they determined that by a forensic accountant?
Well, so interestingly, tax bill time came up, and I just got my taxes, and I explained to my son, there's a difference between the assessed value, which is when you purchase a home, the value is the assessed value. That's what you pay your taxes on.
Right, which is usually not significantly lower, but quite a bit lower.
Could be half as much.
Right.
Versus retail, because since 2020, houses have jumped.
Right.
And they've exponentially grown in value. And so when you value a house, you don't value on the taxed assessed value. You value it on the market value. And so in his applications for loans, his people put in, his lawyers, accountants, property appraisers, professionals that he hired did valuations of Mar-a-Lago, and they put in, I think, 75 to 100 million. It's something like that. And the judge determined that the assessed tax value was 18 million. And that was the value of it. And therefore, he committed fraud because he said more on the applications for the loans, which, by the way, he never had a default payment. He paid all in full, including all of the interest.
So who is he wronged if he paid for? Now I can see
Letitia James, a district attorney who was elected based on the promise she was going to get him.
But here's what I'm saying is, regardless if you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you live in New York, you live in Florida, you live in Atwood, Indiana, you're just a regular dude with a regular IQ of let's say 100. You're right down the middle of everything. You're just Johnny in the middle. If you applied for a loan, whatever you determined your property that you had for collateral and what have you was whatever value, and you repaid that loan in good faith.
Correct.
What?
Who's the victim?
Who have you screwed? Now, hold on. I certainly know the other side of the fence, and that is that you inflated the loan, the value of your assets. You inflated that in order to get this loan, and then in getting that loan, you defaulted. You defaulted because you didn't have the value that you said you did, and you defaulted. And indeed, now you have a person that you've wronged, which is the bank or whoever borrowed you the money.
Well, the housing crisis happened when all the people we knew got mortgages that they couldn't afford based on values that were inaccurate.
And then
they got $100,000.
And then a HELOC.
That's right. And none of them got in any trouble, and they all lied, and they all got bailed out.
Yeah, but who did those valuations on those houses?
Those brokerage guys that were doing it fraudulently. And so, but in this situation, it's very astute of Bubba to highlight there's no victim.
Right.
None of the banks are complaining. No one is complaining and saying, you got to go get Donald Trump and get my money back. And so when they're talking about...
The only person that's saying that is the person that ran for a public office, stating that their mission was to hold Donald Trump to justice.
Right. And normally, if this was criminal, there'd be restitution where you pay the victims back. There's no crime. There's no victim. They're saying $250 million penalty and losing his professional licenses to do business in New York
and lose Trump Towers.
So that's their whole idea, is in order for him to have to pay this fine, he'll have to sell things. And so that's what they're trying to do, is how do you get what they perceive to be a narcissist is take his name off of all his buildings.
So hold on.
And
how about the appellate makeup of whatever appellate circuit they go to from the Middle District of Manhattan or the Southern District of New York? Is this state or federal?
This is state.
This is state. So where is the appellate in Albany? In Albany,
right?
And will he win on appellate?
No, but I think if you look at the way that they have been arguing,
How do you not?
Well, and this is going to sound weird. As I get older, I'm 53 years old. I have less confidence in the judges that are in their 40s to do the right thing, because they were trained differently than I was. And sometimes being a judge, you do what is right, not what feels fair or feels equitable.
No, we know
and it
about
means that there's a
right?
hard decision to be made. And so far too often these days when I'm in court, I'll have a judge that will fail to appreciate that a decision needs to be made one way or the other so that the parties can move on. And they don't do it. And as a result, you have all these wishy-washy claims that go on for too long. This case should have been dismissed at the time it was filed. There's no valid case for fraud without a victim.
So the reason why this doesn't get dismissed is because
the trial judge,
the person doesn't want to do the right thing based on the political environment that they work within?
That's my opinion, yes, because this judge is wildly anti-Trump. This venue is wildly anti-Trump. I think of the potential juror pools, less than 20% voted for Trump. I think it was an 80% or a 70% Biden district. And so you have a district attorney who's been hired by those people.
This is not going to be determined by a jury. This is a judge determination, is it not?
Correct.
How did they get that to fly?
The judge, essentially made a motion for summary judgment, a judgment on the pleadings, determined that the questions were of fact only. There were no questions, legal questions only. There were no questions of fact. And the question of fact is it worth $18 million? Is it worth $75 million? That's a big difference. That right there should be a jury question. That should go to 6 people to say, well, this is what a tax assessed value is versus this is what retail market value is. And for them to understand through expert testimony from bankers and appraisers and accountants and lawyers that when you're someone like Don Jr. or Eric or Donald Sr. and someone hands you a pile of papers and said, we've done everything properly, you say, okay, and you sign it. And there's a certain amount of reliance upon the experts you've hired. And it's called advice of counsel. And that's,
I've used that
last week, they had Donald Trump Jr. and they had Eric Trump on the stand for a couple of days, and they kept saying the news, can you believe they said they really had no involvement in doing this? Do you have any things in a day I have no involvement in doing that I have to sign off on?
That you're all, hold on, things that you don't have any involvement, but your firm does.
Like Pitty. Right. I know Pitty's doing due diligence, and I look at the applications, but I haven't gone through and checked appraisals because I have accountants and I have lawyers and I have people that you hire to make sure that things are. And Dan, but you have people that you hire to make sure you do things properly.
Right.
And at some point, when you're running billions of dollars worth of assets, you can't be in every single tree of every forest that you own.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, Bubba, it's Referee Fred. How are you?
Hi, Referee Fred. Are you? Oh, you gonna give me the breakdown on this deal? Because I've never seen it. I'm sure that it was scored the right way, but I've never seen it.
I am reading from the high school National Federation of High School rule book. It's Rule 6, Section 2, Article 3. Any K player, so a kicking player,
right,
may catch or recover a scrimmage kick while it is in or behind the neutral zone and advance unless it is during a try.
Right.
Well,
so if that ball lands behind the line of scrimmage, anybody can pick it up and run it.
Right. That's what happened, and none of the players really knew what to do because, as high school football players, you don't practice that play.
No.
Okay, guys, we're going to practice this play where the ball lands behind the line of scrimmage. It's not blocked. It's not tipped. It just Mother Nature blows it behind. Now grab that bitch and run. Like we never were taught. We're never taught that.
Is that similar to like a lateral, a missed lateral?
If it had gone if that ball had gone 2 yards beyond and hit the ground and then bounced back behind the line of scrimmage, then
dead ball.
The kicking team couldn't advance it. Right? They could only recover it.
Dead ball.
Right.
It's only a live ball. It's only now. Is it a live ball if it's blocked?
Yes. Any blocking that's behind the line of scrimmage or in the line of scrimmage, that is ignored.
So what I'm saying is, like, let's say the Warsaw Tigers, they block the punt, and then the other team grabs the blocked punt and advances it. Is the ball still live for either team on a blocked punt, or only for the defensive team?
Yes. If it does not if it does not pass the line of scrimmage, yes.
Oh, okay.
So let's say for some, it would have to be a really low kick for this to happen. If someone blocked it 4 yards beyond the line of scrimmage,
right?
Most blocks are made behind the line of scrimmage. So if that ball never crosses the line of scrimmage, then anybody can advance. But if you blocked it and it went 5 yards beyond, all K could do is.
But I've never. Now listen, and you being a referee, have you ever heard of Mother Nature blowing it back behind the line of? I've never heard of that. Have you?
I have never seen it. It's been a rules. It's been a question in our exams before.
Yeah,
that's been a question.
You should have heard these sodbuster announcers saying, "Well, Jim, I don't know. I've never seen where the wind blew something back, and I don't know if this can't be a touchdown. There's no way." And then the referees got together. They literally, one of the guys pulled out a rule book and then they ruled it a touchdown, and the crowd went crazy. But I mean, it's very, very, very. Very few plays will I witness having watched football or listened to football that I've not, don't know the rule on it.
Yeah.
I've never seen a drop kick.
That's still allowed in football, is it not?
Yeah. In the NFL too.
And isn't it 2 points?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've never seen it. So.
Do you know how good? And now on a drop kick, where would the ball be hiked at?
It'd be hiked from the line of scrimmage. The guy.
No. But I mean, is it hiked from a 2-point conversion try, or is it hiked from a kicking field goal try or extra point try?
It would be so if you scored a touchdown and then you drop kicked it, it would be from where the regular try would be. So in high school, that's the 3-yard line.
I know, but in college, in pros. They hike the ball back. What do they hike? Because it's a 30. Isn't it a 35-yard?
They hike it from the 10.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah.
So it makes it about a 27-yarder.
The 10-yard line.
The last one it looks like you did it was Doug Flutie. I sent you the video, and before that it was 1941.
Can you imagine if you had a real good drop kick guy, man? I mean, because, scoring 2 instead of 1 is a huge advantage.
Is it only for a PAT that you can do it, or can you do it at any time? Like on third down, could you just drop kick it instead of going for 7, get 2 points?
What's considered any scrimmage kick formation.
Could you imagine that, Bubba? Someone just drop kicking it on like second down and getting 2 points rugby style?
If you got a guy that was just so good, man, that every time you went for an extra point, he drop kicked it, got you an extra one. But then, man, like on third or fourth down, he could just go ahead and send it through on that. So is this it right here?
He'll be out there in a very strange formation.
I think I remember this.
Trying for 2.
Now, what down is it here, Lummy?
It's just it's an
PAT.
Yeah, PAT.
Or will it be a drop kick, perhaps? Drop kick for the extra point.
Did it touch the ground first?
Yeah. A drop kick is you have to drop the ball. It has to hit the ground, and then you kick it on its way back up.
It was really quick. See how quick he did that?
Yeah, you got to do it quick. And sir, referee Jim, I don't know that drop kicks can be very far. Like I don't know. I think they're only like 25, 30 yarders max.
You couldn't kick one very far. And again, I've never even seen one. I've never even seen. When you're out there in pregame and you're watching the guys in pregame, especially the kickers, they're all fooling around. You know how kickers are, and I've never even seen them like trying them or just messing around. I've just never seen it.
And they have K balls, don't they?
In college, you do not.
No.
In college,
in
NFL, you have a K ball.
Yeah,
in NFL, you got a kicking ball.
Well, no, more than one. I mean, you have. The team. They got like 10.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the NFL,
and
because
those are the ones they were practicing with all week.
Yeah, well, hold
Those
on.
are usually
One of the tricks that Tom Brady taught Shador on the day that I went and was a guest for all that. So Shador had this kind of brand new football out, and 2 or 3 brand new footballs, and Tom Brady brings out these 2 or 3 footballs that he's like, and his are all black and got they look like they've been ran through hell, and Shador's look brand new. And Tom was like, the first mistake you're making, Shador, is you play the game on Saturday with a ball that you have practiced with no less than 3 weeks. No less than 3 weeks. That will be your game ball 3 weeks from now, because you got to break them in. Because
really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Referee, am I right?
That's exactly right. They will always use the balls that they've been using, and when we check in the balls, we see them, and they're worn. They're not new balls.
So does he would Tom Brady have like 10 that he practiced with, or would he just take 10 off the field from the practice field, or be his balls?
He'd have 10 balls that they were always practicing with, maybe 15 balls, and then at the end of like Friday, he would go out and pick his balls that he wanted the Bucs to submit to the league, and then when the Bucs submit to the league, they have to denote them as either a playing ball or a kicking ball, and then the referees take them into the referee locker room, and they do inflation.
And that's how Inflategate happened, because these were literally balls that were segregated for Tom Brady.
And so they do inflation, and they also do inflation at halftime too, don't they?
No, we only have the ball before the game. They're usually in the locker room before the game. You check the pressure of the balls. You inflate them if you have to.
I think it's between 12 and 14.
Yeah, and we bring them out at halftime.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, at kickoff time. You bring them out at kickoff time, and they're marked. That's the other thing. They're marked for that week. So the back judge usually will put a mark on the football that's specific to him, so that's the ball that was
one of the changes.
Interesting.
So Jay, one of the
3 weeks in a row.
One of the changes I made with Dan the first week I started coaching was, get that new ball out of here and find me the oldest ball you got, and what's the pressure, what's the minimum pressure requirements in the league, because that's where we're going to go, because a softer, less pressurized ball for a kid with smaller hands is far easier to catch and throw.
That makes sense.
Than one that's pumped up, all. So yeah,
you helped him big time with your coaching.
So I went to all these old balls, and they're all broken in and brown, and like you said, Raf, they may play with the same ball. They may play the 3 games in a row with the same ball.
Really?
Yeah.
So if they don't want to save the ball for their trophy case, they just give it back to the team manager, the team that.
Not all balls are touchdowns or anything like that. So all those balls, they get thrown right back in, and they'll practice and wear them in some more.
Yep.
Just give it to the equipment manager. He takes care of the balls, and then after you check them in the beginning of the game, do they get locked down for the rest of the game? How did Deflategate happen?
Well, what happens is that then your ball boys are supposed to take care of them after that. And it's happened in pros and college. You'll see equipment managers go over and
take out a pound or two.
Yeah, they'll take out a pound or two, or they'll kind of during while the game's going on, they'll have a couple balls that were not checked in, so they're not marked, and they'll just try to slide them in to the ball bag. And next thing you know, or if a ball's thrown out of bounds, someone retrieves it, and the equipment manager kind of tosses an illegal ball, let's call it for lack of a better term, or unchecked ball. So the ball boy, and he just sticks it in his in his pouch. He don't think about it.
And Jay, they're always squeezing them. They're always messing with them.
Yeah.
They're always squeezing them. They're always rubbing on them.
Does the same thing hold true for kickers? Because how kickers are always massaging the tips of the balls, and they're always like.
Well, hold on. They've denoted which balls are K balls, which are K.
Okay. So that's what you were talking about before, K balls.
And so, like, if the pressure zone is 12 to 14, that K ball is going to be right at 14. They try to put as much in there as they can. Am I right, Raf?
Yeah, they like theirs hard, and Jay, when you're watching a game, you'll see that guy with the orange vest that says K on it.
Yeah,
he's the kicking ball. He's the kicking ball boy.
Really?
He's got
Yeah.
all the kicking balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And those are hard as hell, Jay. They got those things pumped up to 14.01 if they can.
So the same thing with the kicker. He keeps those balls for multiple weeks, and he's going to bring the 10 or 15 balls that he likes, that he's going to choose, that he's softened up the way he wants.
Yep.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Well, ball players get their own bats.
But hold on, I mean, the ref will tell you it's a whole. The ball is a whole world in itself, is it not?
That they want the ball that they're comfortable with, especially the quarterback.
They
He's
want the
one-handed.
ball. They want the ball, Jay. They've been throwing to their receivers all week at practice.
Makes complete
It's been
sense.
hitting the ground and getting scuffed up and getting that leather, that shine off that leather. That's why all the balls that you look in the NFL, they're all really black and dark compared to a brand new ball. You know.
Well, think about this with baseball, and Lummy knows this. You don't want to throw. That's what guys do when they get a new baseball. They're trying to rough it up.
They want to scuff
and,
it.
Scuff it.
Then get a better grip on it. It's
Yep.
the same thing with football. You don't want to throw a new football.
Can't catch
You want to throw something that's worn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, ref, good talking to you, buddy.
All right.
Appreciate your insight.
deal.
See you later.
Find a safe place and stay there. The four horsemen of the apocalypse asked him for advice.
Oh, God.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
We're gonna come back. Melissa Carpenter, $100.
Okay, you come back with it, lover.
Brian from Philly, 25. Thank you.
What up, guys?
You guys. Fish on Jay.
I've
25.
segregated my balls my whole life, too.
Oh yeah.
That's what someone said.
Are your balls properly inflated?
They are properly inflated and segregated. Have you seen anything about that city, The Line? That they're talking about doing in Saudi Arabia. It's the creepiest thing ever. It looks like Wall-E to me. Like you can just eat mush and everything's 5 minutes from your house, and the government's got complete control of you. And you never
It's in
leave
Saudi
it.
Arabia, right?
Yeah, it's nuts.
I don't.
120
I've
kilometers.
done virtually zero research on it, but I know what you're
I've just
talking
seen 2 or 3 things on YouTube in the last
Yeah,
week.
like
It
those
came up on
shorts.
Joe Rogan because
Yeah.
I watched it once.
Yeah.
It's like now showing up, and it's just trippy.
Mhm.
Not where I want to live.
You know who was tripping me out? I came across this guy. He's been around for years, and I've seen stuff he's done, but I didn't know who he was. But now I know. His name is Paul Rosali. This motherfucker is in the Amazon 6 months out of the year, like the Amazon, and he talks about fucking running into tribes that are cannibalistic, catching anacondas at 2 a.m. in the fucking water, and like trying to measure them, make them swallow these like giant pills so they can track them and shit. Like getting worms in like a botfly will land and then they lay eggs underneath your skin and they turn into worms and you have to fucking pull them out. This motherfucker, I was watching this Saturday night freaking the fuck out. I'm like, I should not be watching this for the time. Paul Rosali talking about getting MRSA on his face and almost dying, but he finally found some fishermen.
Anaconda.
Yeah, he did some gimmicky stuff where he like tried to get consumed by an anaconda. This was like 10 years ago.
7.1 million views on Lex Friedman.
Yeah, I was watching his Lex shit and some stuff on Rogan where he finds these uncontacted tribes and how they'll disavow you if they find you, and these horror stories of people who, were just trekking through the Amazon and run into these guys and they just get fucking demolished. It was fucking crazy.
It is crazy.
But I couldn't, and he's a really good storyteller, so I was just like, oh. Crazy stuff.
So he's like an anaconda dude a lot.
Yeah. He sometimes stays in like they built the tallest treehouse in the world. And he's saying that there's thousands of species that are just completely unrecorded, we don't even know that they exist because they're up in the canopies of the Amazon. Insects, yeah. He does these solo excursions where he's alone for 7 days.
I don't like to be alone for 7 hours.
You won't see another fucking human, and then at one point he sees smoke around the bend, so we know he's one of those uncontacted tribes. And they see him, and he said he just ran for 3 hours. was hiding in the river, like fucking crazy ass shit.
Yeah, I think that solitary confinement's cruel and unusual punishment because, our quarantine was a joke, but that little bit of lack of touch was like sick. And I could walk in my kitchen and open the door and it was just somehow it's just weird.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine 23 out of 24 hours being in a dark hole in prison.
Yeah.
In like 2 days, I'd be like, I did it. I didn't fit to anything.
Yeah.
Like the fighting,
Let's
pushing
go.
on Amazon. 7 days with cannibalistic tribes
Around, yeah.
Can you imagine having always been?
Yeah. He was like, sleeping was worse than being awake. Like, he couldn't sleep, just freaking the fuck out.
And he didn't like go without any rations. He had like 10 rations and stuff.
Yeah, but he also, and then he said he did some dumb stuff, like he fished and he had like threw the carcass of the fish like in front of his tent, and like he said it was 20 or something, 22 to 25. Are they called caiman?
Yes.
Gators or crocodiles showed up
outside his tent.
Yeah. And he's like, you saw him because he's like, when you flash your light, you just see something like looking back at you, and so we knew that they were going to.
You see all their eyes.
All right, just try to keep it in one piece. Now we get a caution.
This motherfucker is crazy.
Please just stop.
Danica Patrick's got a gig with Formula One these days, Bubba. Yeah, she's doing color commentary pre-race on the sidelines, like up in pit row. It's okay. It's just they have I don't know if they feel the need to have a couple of women in there, so they have 2 women walking through. Her insight's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
There's some of the best colors. I love watching them.
She's got insight on how to get a top 10 finish every 10th race.
Well, I mean, aren't there commentators with football who never played professional sports?
Sure.
So.
They just suck.
Oh, I would say.
They suck as commentators?
No, I didn't say it was anything because they didn't play.
Oh, they just suck because they're women and they suck? That's fair.
No, it's because they're just horrible.
They just try too hard, they camp it up.
Yeah.
In Bubba we trust. In Bubba you lust.
Naughty, naughty.
This is the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lummy, we got to get out of here because we got to, at 20, start the hard start for the podcast/local deal.
Yes, we do.
Wrap that up by like 10 after, and then have our big meeting at 11:30. Okay?
Sounds good.
Perfect. Jay, thank you, my friend.
My pleasure.
Oh, Jay, how did your thing on Friday that you were all dressed up for go? Did you get
Perfectly.
Did it go the way you needed it? Did it go the way you needed it?
I was dressed for success, and we had success.
We will see you. Today's show that we do is available only on our podcast world. So wherever you go get your podcasting, type in the Bubba Army, whether it's iHeart, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and I don't even know what we're talking about today, Lummy. Maybe you can give me some type of insight. Jay, thanks.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys later.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian Lummox,
co-host Anna Hummel,
Co-host Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Rhett, the Filthy Ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here watering
buttoned up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
And for everything else, go to thebubbaarmy.com.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repay the law.